Greetings.
Yo, blessed day, will.
OUR.FM. We live, black to black. We are here with one half of the mighty Jammettes.
One of the two?
One of the two.
I say no next time, Jammet.
If you behave yourself, you'll get next one.
Oh, come on.
Good afternoon. It's, yes, 12:30 now. Good afternoon, Trinidad Tobago. Good afternoon, OUR Radio. Ooh, you know how long I say that? You know how long I greet the OUR Radio team? Morning, OUR. Morning. Why? No, it's when people just look to call you as soon as you go live, you know.
Yeah. Talking
Karen, I'm
about
feeling like we had to change how we just greet people, boy.
why?
Feel like the show now, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
All
bring
the
the energy.
vibes. The vibes now, boss. It now, boss. So, folks,
We
we are here. You know, thanks very much for staying with us.
We don't see people on the YouTube page already done start the thing.
Yeah, the thing, you know, it does get wild.
Oh, it's very wild right now.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Say
It's
we
wild.
bring nothing for them to drink and all kind of thing.
Oh, God. Let's
Yeah,
back
I
on
didn't
that.
tell earlier when Jammettes come in.
Why
you
I
know,
thought when the guests come in the house, the guests just bring things
expect
to
That's
me to
why I
about
thought-
that. I know it is working.
They're right now, them on
decent.
vacation and all, me, you know.
Thank you.
So all his guests.
Thank you.
All his guests.
Thank
All they
you.
supposed to bring thing. We ain't supposed to bring nothing.
Wait, no, go back.
Yeah, son, that's what I know. That's all I know.
Yeah, man. All right. Well, big up all the listeners online. Big up Lizelle, Christopher, Uncle, Macasmia Stick. Right?
Baby DJ, no.
Hey.
DJ Wanke.
Oh, okay.
Big up Aaron. Big up, who is this here boy? Osvaldo. We see
Yeah.
Trishanti. Kerry.
Flo Mal in the house.
So mal in the house. So mal in the building. If you get the carpet clean and thing, check him. If you car detail properly, check him. Right. So, as all you can see, the topic of the day is the role and function of the black woman in the community. You know, it's not a very light topic. We are aware, you know, but as we tell all when we introduce ourselves to you all, that we are not afraid of having these difficult conversations, right?
Not really on the tiptoe thing.
Yeah, we're not
So
on
no
that tiptoe
line.
thing.
No line here.
Nah, and we just wear boots. So what's your con? What's your con, right? So yeah, let me start it off hot and sweaty. We know lately, especially, you know, we've seen a lot of, you know, violence and things against the queens. And as men, you know, it's imperative that we really take a stance to show some support to the queens and them, right? Fathers, uncles, brothers, grandpas, we had to step up. Right? So, Jammet,
Yeah, but how does learn now?
how is learn what?
That you can't just tell a person, and I've seen that happen plenty times in the education system, especially in the secondary school level, where all the time you treat children like children, and then when they reach a certain age,
Right.
you suddenly start saying to them, "Yes, a big man now." Okay, we understand. So is it that it's an overnight thing? You're supposed to just wake up one morning and that switch?
Nah, you know, that is something that happening from baby.
So how do you? That's what I'm saying. Who's teach that? Who does teach that?
Right. So for me in my house, I'm the man. Right. I am the father of the household. It's a topic we always discuss in the barbershop, you know, not having certain things and missing certain things and then being expected to do we never learn.
We never learn, exactly.
Right. So for me, I have always tried to be not just the shining light, you know, but I have 3 boys, right, and 1 daughter. So the onus is on me now to teach my children from baby how to treat their sisters, how to treat their mothers, and so on, right? And it's something that I've had a problem with one of my sons in particular, where he is, I know he get a ultra masculinity, super duper alpha male kind of vibes, you know. He don't want to listen to nobody. He don't want to listen to women in particular in authority. So you find that the teachers, right, his female teachers would always give him instructions and he's give them static. So I had to pat him down, right? And I had to pull him square in front of the class once and tell him, listen, your teacher is your mother while we are away. Your colleagues in your class are your brothers because them fellas going with you all the way to standard 5. And I made him apologize to the class. I made him apologize to the teacher. And I saw a grave change in his behavior from then, right? But ever since he's small, it's the basic things. Manners, make it man. Open the door for your mother, right? Ladies first. You come in a room, you want to sit down, pull out the chair for your mother. Them basic things, you know. But respect for her and his sisters. Well, sister, right? But you have plenty cousins, female cousins. The family is a very heavily female-oriented family. You know that, right? So as a result of that, he is now surrounded by so many females that he has no choice. Because I tell my mother, put that cut ass. Right? I say, mommy, put the heavy hand on him. Right? Because he have to remember, it can't be daddy alone. Right? Daddy alone can't be the one bringing the heavy hand on you. He have to feel it from a female as well. Right? And it don't have to be licks all the time. It's just the authority.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, so for me, that was where I saw the importance of being there with him all the time and holding him back, doing certain things. But the baby different.
This is where I would say the messaging can get blurred.
Right.
Because, you know, that chivalry that, you know, we treat women with, while, yes, I absolutely agree and support that.
Right.
Context is important.
Of course.
And there's a way that this society have women plastered as this soft gentleness and not understanding that feminine power is still that power.
Right.
It's just presented in a different way. And so even with women now, thanks to this version of feminism, the misunderstanding of what power is, because I find it very ironic. You're not here.
No. But
we see it here.
We see it.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Big up man like Matty helping in the background. Yeah. Like even this version of feminism, which I personally have a lot of issues with, and people who follow me would know that. But this version of feminism want to encourage or promote feminine power,
right,
but not feminine power. A male version or females or women doing male things
right,
and calling it feminine power. I can too. First of all, Ethel, congrats to you if there are certain skill sets that you can do that men do. Big up you and that. Like, for example, I grew up toting my 6 bass. That's why I start off on.
Yeah.
So, daddy now, Judy and Joel now at the old age, when you see the water cooler, the big bottle, who does that? I'll pick up the 2 bottles and tote my water.
Yeah, you're good.
I can't pick up, wait, take with that, and then you have this superhero complex, especially with black women always having to overcompensate and overstep up on certain things, right? Again, that's this false feminism thing that in order to prove that you have power, you have to do what men do.
Right.
That's incorrect as far as I'm concerned.
All right.
There's feminine power. That power is something that is different. It is equal to in value. It's something that men cannot do.
Right.
Trust me. But at the same time, actually I shouldn't say that. There's some sense of feminine energy and the power within feminine energy that men can do.
Right.
Not of course at the extent in which women can do. Like for example, just the way the body physically set up. I've seen this trend on TikTok right now, where they put a man and a woman facing a wall and you kind of at a 90 degrees and you pick up the chair. So you bend over at the 90 degrees with your head against the wall and there's a chair in between and then you hold the chair and then just stand up or something like that, right? Men can't do it.
Serious?
It's not possible. The way the makeup of the body is. Women could do it and do it like
easy.
The core is different and because it's designed for a different purpose. So that feminine energy, you're seeing examples of that feminine energy doing those things now. Look at all the wars historically, who gives no matter, just spin the globe and push a finger on and find the history of it and I can guarantee you it traces back to some girl started this whole thing. And she didn't have to do it.
Jammettes?
She did it more than likely. She didn't have to do it by, making her abs and carried on and quiet, just a little pass through.
Yeah.
There's something powerful about that. Now all you have me eating this BS feminism nonsense, exhausting my energies in things I'm not supposed to be doing. And so
trying to prove our point.
To come back to the context with your son, that there's a gentleness that that is being taught to boys on how to treat girls. You don't hit girls because you ever collect a good call from a girl who trained from since young. Is the equal thing, and that messaging never made sense to me. Just don't hit people. I get that men handle heavy at times, but if you're nurtured a certain way, and we do nurture our girl children in a level of softness and victimhood, and so the boys are seeing that, particularly as soon as girl children start to develop the breasts on them. As soon they run trend and them running around the yard together,
all the time.
And as soon as the little tututs, as we just say here, start to come out, it does pick the girls from liming in the road with the trend that they've been doing all their lives and start keeping them in the house, start putting them in the kitchen, start doing certain things. That disconnect in how you nurture boys and girls start to show.
Yeah.
And yet we expect the boys to see women as an equal.
Yeah.
How?
Yeah.
They would never nurture to see them as an equal. They would nurture to see girls, eventually women, as they're too soft, they're too thing, they're irrational, they're too emotional, they're too this, that, and the other, and whatever the case is. So you learn to not even listen to the words of women.
Right.
And you're seeing that now, and that's not if you look around, men that's actually in the workplace, anyway, even if it's your brethren and them, it'll take a while before your brethren can see a human to human.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we say a while be talking years, because fellas, how they interact with each other and how they interact with the female friends.
Totally
different.
But then you also see it how they interact with the partners.
I seen it. She says she talking and I seen it now. Like, I was accused of it now. Like, you could automatically tell when a woman called me.
Yeah. Oh, I love to do that. And I can tell if it's a partner versus your mother, because even your mother does get a different tone.
Of course.
Even your mom does get a different tone.
Of course.
Yeah. For me, as the father of a girl child, the only way I can describe it right now is that it's scary.
Is what?
Scary. Right? Because in conversing more and more, especially in the last year and a half, with women on a deeper level, on not just trying to lie down with your kind of level, but just conversing and being more open, you realize we did watch women in a kind of way, real.
Yeah.
That little thing there. And
myopic.
And some of them things, some of the conversations force me to look at certain things differently. Force it. I ain't talking about like it was just so I can't take no credit if you're seeing and feeling a difference. I can't take that credit. Some of the conversations force me, because one of the things I tend to do is if I had an interesting conversation, that thing lock in my head, but I tend to play it over, even if that conversation was an hour. And then playing over some of them conversations.
Yeah.
But like, be real with our forcing vibes, right? How much man does respond well to being forced to do anything?
Well, for me, I use the word force, but it wasn't force as in force.
No. You're right with force. You're right with the use of the word force, because that means pressure.
Yeah.
Right? There's some sort of pressure involved. So you're correct in that sense. But separate yourself now and observe men on a whole. You could talk on behalf of men now. My question is, how easy it is for men to react positively to any sort of pressure or forcefulness?
It not.
So
and it ties back into
fair,
where you and Karen
so that's
started the
something
conversation.
It's fair that men would not see women when they say certain things, do certain things, whatever, and they feel like you're talking too much, you're doing too much, or whatever. No, it's just there are things that you have missed. I acknowledge your strengths. I do. I will also admit that women now are not giving men that validation, because women feel them as man too.
Amen.
Right? But at the end of the day, neither one could create on its own.
Oh, Lord.
Dirt cannot create on its own. Water cannot create on its own. Right? So we're looking at a half and half situation. It is mind-blowing to me that And it's really just that fight mentality now. Like you feel everybody competing with you. And that's triggered from that force. So somebody come and tell you, a girl come and tell you something and you find, nah boy, she don't know what she talking about, blah, 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 blah. And then you go back into your circles with your brethren.
Yeah.
And we know that influence will always remain. You could just leave. Dog, listen to me.
Hey.
You see, fellas, why does want to fight all this so much? Because all it is have the moments of vulnerability and have conversations with different people, whether it's platonic friends or people who there's emotional connections with, and it resonates here because it speaks specifically to your life, right? Because like when we talking about you come to a space where I don't know what to do, blah, 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 right? You need that feminine energy, that guidance, whatever. Whether it's your mother, your auntie, or whoever. Right. And then you leave that space with a sense of understanding, and as soon as you step back out and meet the boys, it's all good.
Nah.
It's all good.
Nah, not me. I have always been... Again, you see the differences, and this where I realized that I used to figure something was wrong with me, right? Because emotional intelligence is something we talk about all the time, right?
Which they don't teach boys at all.
They don't. Fortunately for me, though, I grew up with 2 houses, 3. Nick, my neighbor, Auntie Beulah and them, with the whole yard as women mostly, right? We have Uncle Derry, Uncle Eddie, Uncle Louis, them is the men in the yard. But outside of that is women.
Big girl.
Right? My house, same thing. Mommy, Auntie Jean, Kiva, right? Carrie Ann. I was the only boy, and then my father. And then Dexter eventually moved out. But I'm saying, because of that, most of the time, because of the relationship I had with my father, my mother was the one, and Auntie Jean is the one who I used to go to. My first sex talk was with my aunt, right? Same thing with my mother. When I started a thing with girls and things, she pulled me square, talk to me. It was never my father. So because of that, I grew up with a different, if you want to call it, my lens wasn't like everybody else, right?
Yeah.
But I grew up seeing women for who they were, understanding the power that they had, the influence that they carry. Also seeing my mother do most of the things that I ever had to do. My mother teach me to ride bike. My aunt teach me to play football. Right. My father was there for me when it come to pan. Because he wanted to play pan. He missed out on that. So he's like, yeah, my son play pan. He involved, you know. But prior to that, all the important lessons
of life and development and nurturing
came from her. So now that a man with my sons and them, I don't tell my son don't cry. I don't tell him he's a big boy and thing. Yeah, he's a big boy. But then you just bust your head.
Yeah,
it's okay.
That shit gonna hurt.
That is going to hurt, you know what I'm saying? You had a cry, Brett.
Yeah.
You know, if somebody hurt you, it's okay.
Yeah.
Cry, you know, let it out, because we're raising these boys out here to keep everything inside. And then when these boys meet women, the women want them to open up. Well, husband, why you don't talk to me? Why you don't tell me these things?
Well, now I'm learning, and I'm learning this from conversations and youths and them. It's different now, you know.
But that's the only way we go learn.
Now they're telling you, girls and you must open up, and then when they open up, and this is not, I wish it was a one-off thing, but I'm seeing it more and more. Were you opening up? Were you telling me all of that for? Were you crying to me for? Because now that same messaging that boys not supposed to is passed on to women. And so now, well,
when they receive it,
and so now when you receive it, you know what that. But then we looking at a deliberate, as far as I concern, a deliberate separation, turning the both genders against each other.
Amen.
We're looking at that now because in no way, no how, outside of being male or female, human first. You cannot tell me as a human you don't feel like. While I do acknowledge that women tend to be more emotional with the hormones and whatever, we could connect that back to science, you know, fine, and we acknowledge that. But it's not to dismiss. The messaging is this: boys don't feel, women don't think.
Well, that's you see.
Emotions and logic. One is just an emotional being, and one is just a logical being. And women, that is not true.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
Everything is a balance now.
It is a balance.
And so when the two come together, yes, I acknowledge that men are more logical, women are more emotional. But understand that in order to function and to create life,
you need both.
You need togetherness.
Yeah. And I can tell you that as a husband, big up my wife Candace, I know you're listening.
Big up, yeah, like Candace.
Right? it's 17 years we together.
Yeah.
Right? And I know it has certain things I just can't do.
Yeah.
I don't have it.
Yeah.
You understand? And then it have the flip side to that where it has certain things she just don't be able, she don't
Naturally.
have it. You know, and we respect each other's role and function in that space to say, well, babe, you know, handle that thing. All right, babe, you know, you handle that. Because for me, it's maturity. I was telling Andrea that the other day. When I turn 2 times, when I turn 30, I get some clarity. I don't know where it come from, but I take it. When I turn 40 again, the same thing happen. And it's like things where you wasn't paying attention to all the time. It's like your lens just getting wider now. And it was so weird, you know, because again, I never had that male influence to sit down and reason with.
Yeah.
You know, there are certain things I could say on the radio that go mash up people, but I wouldn't do it, right?
Why?
Nah, I'm gonna drag the man business in the road and thing.
Oh, well, more people are there.
Yeah, you know, I ain't go put the man business in the road. But at the same time, when I went to my father for certain advice, what I got from him baffled me. To put it simply, because remember them is the when he born? 1960 something.
I'm a chauvinist galore.
Galore.
They never, one of the problems with me with that, 'cause I come through part of that as well, is they never wrong.
Never.
And they
Because
will
them man.
never get a apology, no nothing from
them, yeah.
Right? Because my sex talk was a real joke, you know.
Well, you can at least get one. Congrats on that.
No, it was not. Listen. So, you start to see girls coming around now, coming home. Of course, we come from the time where you have to sit down in the gallery.
Right.
Where you're seeing it and thing now. I thought this girl move in the community and all kind of big man and she and you're seeing her son line with it, but she regular and she buy we and she come over here and she bring in food. So, I know something up when you give me the van to drive. Drive, man. You ain't vex at all. So we live in Bartaya.
Right.
We live on 2nd Street down to the end. When you go to cross 7th Avenue into the dead end, we live in only dead end. So I drive in from, let me say, a little after Sawa. Come up on 2nd Street, driving down. But I want to go on 4th Street because everybody see my driving.
Wait, how old were you here?
About 8, 19.
Oh, okay. All right.
So,
which is kind of late for the sex talk, but go ahead.
Kind of late.
Right. So I want to understand the distance.
Yeah.
7th Avenue, we live in 4 houses into 2nd Street from 7th Avenue corner. When we cross 6th Avenue, you know, it's only like about 5 houses between 6th Avenue and 7th Avenue.
Right.
And we drive in, it's not the same we walk in.
Right. So you're there in seconds.
Right. Halfway between 6th Avenue and 7th Avenue, I see that girl coming around real plenty, boy. Yeah. That take we from halfway in 6th Avenue to 7th Avenue corner. Make sure I look nothing and come in, drive across. If you do anything, make sure you use a condom.
The end. Nice
And reach in front of the house.
Nice conversation.
And that man come out of the van so fast.
Yeah.
And that was the condom. That was it there. And so it again, I look back at that and part of me, I want to be real honest, part of me does understand where they come from and think the generation, them had that kind of thing, but I look at emotional intelligence, growth. And it would seem that generation, because when I talk to my friends and we be open as men, most of them never had it either.
No.
And this was a conversation 2 nights ago in my school group. So it's either you grew up in a house with a man, a father, but all he used to do is work and rest. So you did nothing with him, and everything fall to the mother.
You don't bother him when he come home because
yes, you
he
couldn't.
the easy one bringing in the money. So.
That's right.
Right. But it also come down to the part where now we look at mothers like I have some partners. You hear them talk about mother. Mother is everything. But I just wonder.
Hola.
Hi. You might see some things moving there. Is Ananias? It's not you. No way. Hi, everybody.
Hi, next Jammettes.
Hello.
Cool, bad now.
Yeah,
I know that
dead
rain
in the
was
dead
coming. I find
center.
that rain coming down very hard. I should have known.
Yeah. No, we have a man between me flogging.
We get through, he gets through.
I know that for sure.
Either way.
Yeah.
Welcome to the second half of the Jammettes. It's Taika Giselle.
Hi.
Wagwan.
I got I was back when I was coming up the road. Have people listening to the show in the taxi punch my cut. Yes, blackness. Are you afraid? Be not afraid. It's just blackness.
We ain't afraid. We ain't afraid.
I like that. Put it out in the open.
But what you were saying there just now, right? They learn from the bar. When the boys gathered and you're sharing and swapping stories, that was the sex education taking place.
Let me jump in quick now. Because this one real funny. That way I said I grew up next to a basketball court, right?
Yeah.
Most of my formative years was next to a basketball court in Sawa. So in Form 4 in Success Love until in 1994.
Right.
Miss Axe, Integrated Science, preparing for 6 years. Does anyone know where spoon come from? That's why here on the court and I jump up in class with
Form 4,
authority.
Right? With authority.
Yeah, miss. From your back, that way let's go by Jerry and by punch. Right?
Wow.
Exactly what she now said then.
Mm-hmm.
That's where your education comes from.
Right.
Because nobody woman say no and explaining. Just that.
But like be real, with grandfathers and granduncles and all of them dead, still not knowing.
Yeah.
boy.
Yeah.
Still ignorant on things like sex. So if them can even understand, if them think sperm coming from the back, I expect them to know where that clitoris is. Come down from there. Come down from there. They don't know nothing because there was nobody teaching that.
Lost.
I give thanks to books, you know.
Have mercy.
Because they just ask me how you so different from most of the people around here.
Yeah.
Even your siblings and things.
Yeah.
I tell them I did a lot of reading.
I take a ministry there.
Yeah, I do real
It is fundamental.
read.
real reading.
You have to read. If you don't read, sorry for you.
Yeah.
And a simple mindset. Like, it had certain things I saw that I know I didn't want to do.
Which is why I cannot accept from boomers and they know. Well, nobody teach me that. So
Nah.
And have enough resources that you could tap
Come
into.
on.
No,
Yeah.
but that's an excuse. That's a real excuse.
Yeah.
Rose eyes.
it's an excuse. That's
what it is, yeah.
Because when you
Yeah.
get to a certain age, if it is I do a crime that I didn't know was a crime and I get locked up and I tell the police, well, nobody did tell me that. No, that could the dog
Ignorance
and
is
say,
not that. No. Ignorance is
I'm
never
still
the
going
answer.
to get my ass through in Golan Grove.
That's right.
Because I didn't know. No, Miss Lady. Get
Yep.
it together. And then you reach out. So what I'm saying is you get to a point in your life
Right.
where you have to take responsibility for self.
Of course.
And cannot depend on what was done to you, what you were nurtured around for the future of your life.
Yeah.
You have to take control at some point. So you
Correct.
go down and continue to say, well, it was this one fault, that one fault. No, Myrtle.
Nah.
He existed in ignorance.
No, you can't do that. I remember I read my HSB book. Before me pick up HSB in my
2, no 3.
Form 3. Before school open, I finished that book, you know. Because something about the human body
What's interesting?
just was like, yo, I need to figure this shit out
yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to
Opposed
figure this out
wait in a
now.
million years.
I ain't waiting. So,
Before we go, right?
I see Dion say something about a book.
Sheldon
Oh,
Mendoza.
Dion Carrington?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dion is a published author now.
Yes. Big up yourself,
Big
Dion. Big
man
up
like
yourself.
Dion. And
Hey.
we had to get our copies. You Jammettes had to get our copies.
Right.
Back to back,
We
all they
get-
should get all the
buying
copies.
one
We went, oh
each.
gosh, we went.
Buying one each. We
Yeah.
had one book to share. Nah. Because I want to make notes. I know Popsy, let's make
Yeah,
notes.
let's make notes in my books and
Somebody
things too.
calling me. Well, all year.
See
All they show.
Kuna, big up yourself.
I'm again in this comment section here. That'll be wild in the
Yeah.
YouTube comments. You know.
Let me take this call. I hope we connected. Caller. Yes, sir.
I should get my
Speaker.
headphones.
No, not speaker. Not mute.
You're moving like Taika, the intro.
It's been so long. I haven't been here.
Testing 1, 2, 2.
Hold on, the caller.
We
Technical difficulties.
We carrying over the one caller.
Yes.
But again, in this YouTube chat though, the violence had to wear boots.
It's on the
I
Bluetooth.
couldn't. Isaiah, what? Big up man like Isaiah.
I see them here today.
Yeah. Wait now, where the Bluetooth is on this phone, boy?
In the settings of iPhone, you know, it's a lot going on.
Somebody deal with that. technical thing then I mean in that.
It can't reach over for a call, and the call's still running, you know?
Yeah, tell them hold on.
That caller. Big up that caller.
Yeah, patience.
Oh, yeah, they connect the Bluetooth to the thingy.
Yes, so push up.
Yeah, the Bluetooth on.
Right. But which thing it on? Right.
Discoverable, right?
I like the patience of the caller, though. Big up you.
The caller has a point to be made. You understand?
Yeah, we had to get our call.
Right. I read in here in the comments, Sheldon Mendoza, in African spirituality, they teach you that the earth couldn't be created without feminine energy of Oshun. Ashe. It is important to understand that men and women add to the world, but we both possess both masculine and feminine energies. Ashe. But they ain't teaching you that. They don't want you to know that.
Caller.
Hello, hello. Hello, hello.
Like he hung up.
Yeah, the caller get fed up.
Right, caller, when you get a chance, you can give me a call back. Call him back? Nah, he call on the phone.
Nah, we ain't doing that.
When he call back, you can call back or send a voice note. David, hey, Bambi! Bambi is asking, what is the name of the book by Dion? Can it be purchased on Amazon?
It can be purchased on Amazon, and I think it's called something. Just now, I have the information here, you know.
Hey.
Dion, you're the president here, you know. You can get any free promo you
But Dion
want,
in the comments, Dion dropped the thing hot just now there where he said. A little higher up.
I didn't think you mentioned the name of the book.
Wow.
He said, read the book.
Gerald, these fellas had to read the book.
Yeah. Tell me the name.
What kind of half advertisement is that, Dion?
Yeah. Well, he is coming on our show to talk about it.
Come on now.
All right.
Episode number 2.
Well,
so,
let me don't
know.
preempt it. We go at it.
No, but there's also an episode. I think he came on True Talk. Are you supposed to talk about on True Talk?
I think so, but they hosted something with him, or he was on and something. The name of the book is 57 Days of Emotion.
Ooh.
And
How old are that, remember?
yes, 57 Days of Emotion, and it is about the male experience through emotions. You have to feel. That for
What's
me is
the
like a
last name?
textbook.
Carrington.
That for me is a textbook because I just be reading enough things about the male experience, and I think it's very important as a woman for me. Like I need to know.
So there's the updated version of Men Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars, and Women Are From
No,
Venus.
it's not
No,
an
no,
updated
no.
version. It's Dion Carrington's take on emotions.
Well, I'm
and
looking for it.
Through his own emotional journey as a man,
Right.
Yep.
as a young man.
Big up yourself, my brother. Thank you very much on behalf of the men, for
sharing yourself.
sharing
with
that
us.
experience, because I could tell you the minute you start to show them thing, horse people just start to feel it like you.
Yeah, in Trinidad.
I
He's
find that such a weird
started
what is
watching
that
like you.
paradox? Is it what I want?
It is a paradox.
Because in my own experience of curating a space specifically for men to share,
Yeah.
I read people was like, yeah, girl, you need to do this more often. You need to them to be talking and like,
Stick up in
all
because
it
she's
is
doing that
allow-
very casual.
All it is allow the men to talk.
Mansplain is a production that Taika has done.
Oh,
Really?
yes,
When
I
it
need to
come
say
back
that.
on, she said, I curate her. She making the song very small.
So this is Pioneer?
It is
This is
Pioneer
Pioneer
Productions.
Productions, yes.
Did a play called Mansplain,
Right.
where it literally was giving a platform for men to speak from that emotional place. Yeah? She making that song very small, but it's a big deal. It is a big deal. Right. Go
Now,
ahead.
hear
now,
what I'm saying,
thanks.
yeah? Now, the media, and Israel goes on this sometimes, because the media has been perpetrating this thing. Like if it not happening, right? I'm going to take the call.
Yes, that caller.
Caller. Welcome. Oh, Lord.
Back again.
Wait as we doing it wrong.
We
But
need
it
to do an
ring true.
iPhone
No, but
tutorial
Matics
session.
of
It
organizing.
ring true though. I hear the call rings. We should be hearing the call. I don't know.
Yeah. Unless the volume down. Caller.
Failure, boy.
Not DJ, not PC. Be up, I know.
The board looking straight.
Yeah, everything straight. I know what's going on there. Caller.
Yeah, thanks. Where was saying when we
Oh, it's
went?
Chris. Yeah, what's going on? We gotta put this on speaker. All right, Chris.
Paid by Mark.
Good day.
Yes, man. What's happening?
Family. Morning.
Morning.
Guys, good afternoon. Sorry. Now, great topic, guys. Great topic. You know, and what I've seen over the years is that our young boys, our men, do not have any respect for the woman again. And I will go as because of the music. Now, there's no longer the point where you could sit down in your car with a Barry White or a Boyz II Men and drive and press to their hand. You don't have that no more.
Right.
She wants to jump on the trampoline and you want to push it far up and I don't know where it has to go. So there's no more making love to a woman.
Oy.
You know, these young girls now are seeing themselves. These young girls now are seeing themselves as a trophy. You know, and I start to say that, you know, it's we as men who
Right.
pushing them to that. Because no longer again I will say you can't go you get things and drill it. When last you hear a song that speaks to the heart of a woman, it even have some fellas singing love tune, but the love tune they're singing is how much they want to make she. Alright, good, and I will stop right there. But you know what I'm saying? You know?
Alright.
There's no more of that. And Andrew said something about, you know, where sperm comes from. And would you believe in the agri thing on Saturday when I went with my son, you know, there was a booth with a telescope and not a microscope, sorry. And I know he liked microscope thing, doctor thing. So I said, let me go there. But when we went in the booth now, under the microscope, it had sperm. The sperm that you see moving up and down. So the lady said, well, you know, it's not that it's sperm. So he come out and he said, Daddy, where's sperm?
Nice.
You know, so I had to start to explain to him.
Get the
But in the
convo going.
environment, he was like, but sperm can't make me and I'm married. That's what you're just telling me. So I had now to find that time where I have to break it down to him.
Yes.
YouTube, my brother.
And I just say YouTube, Karen, is that the things that we would have took 3 weeks to learn in school, they can learn it in 30 seconds. When they say YouTube, you know, please find how to make a child.
Yeah.
Or
How a baby is made.
That will pop up. How a baby is born, and that will pop up and it will run a 3 seconds video or 10, not 3 seconds, 3 minutes or 10 minutes or 15 minutes video.
Yeah.
And you know, these are the things that we are missing, but good topic, and we need to train our children. Because my son is always telling me, Daddy, you just treat mommy real nice, you know. I want to treat my wife like
Goodness.
Oh.
you know, and it's what I'm showing them every single day.
Right.
You wake up, you kiss, you leave in your kiss. You know, I make breakfast, I make lunch, and I spread out the table, and I say, baby, come on. And he just say, how you doing that for mommy? That's your wife.
Set an example, brother.
You know, so in the black community, we really need to teach our young men, you know, let us respect our women, and young ladies need to respect themselves.
All right.
Man can't call it, yeah, baby, and you know, we need to do that. On great topic, guys.
All right, Chris. Blessings.
Blessings, man.
Yeah.
The thing about our feminine energy too, understanding, like, it's real easy to say women need to respect themselves. But when people say things like that, and particularly when men say things like that, is by the standard of respect that they set. So their understanding of what respect is. Ready up all yourself. Ready up all yourself. Because that, where you learn the respect for self that women supposed to have,
Right.
is the church. And I feel like everybody else does want to speak for women without actually
Consulting
women.
woman. I agree.
So,
The author is calling.
hey! You connected?
Yeah. Dion.
Nah, yeah, do the thing again.
Press the speaker thing on the thing
Right.
and make sure that the
No, it's
Bluetooth
saying,
on.
I feel like they know. Talk to me.
Yeah, am I good?
Yeah, you get through. I win, boy, I get
That's a call to make it work. That is
through. I get through. Talk to us, author.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Well, I had to call in, you know, because I didn't want to derail the conversation. That's why I didn't put too much information in the chat.
Right.
But since I start to talk about it, I say, all right, let me call and talk about it a little bit.
All right, go ahead.
Right? So, I mean, all of this is explored in the book, but just to give a brief synopsis for those listening, I've always struggled to express myself in my life. Not that it was difficult for me to express myself,
right,
but that the response to me expressing myself was difficult to manage.
Oh.
Right? Yeah, because, the same things that you would be saying or experiencing in your life as men, we're crying for is a little girl or, them different things, they're not easy for man up for a young boy to hear now.
Nope.
And I came to the point in my life in my teenage years where I was like, okay, this emotions thing is to lock off. And I think a lot of fellas come to that point. Now, I made a conscious decision.
Right.
Other guys, I think it happens so early in their life that they kind of just stop. They don't even know that they're doing it now. So they believe in their life that it's normal and natural. And men just don't express themselves or don't feel or don't have emotions. And it's foolish. Right?
Yeah.
So what I wanted to do in this book was chart my journey and my story and, show how I was able to reconnect with my emotional self and what that has done for me. I'm not like telling it in that sense, so it's not a self-help book. I'm just telling my story.
Right.
But when you read it, my hope is that everybody can take away from it that, this work is necessary.
Yeah.
It's beneficial, and it's something that all of us need to do. True. People always ask me, who is this book for? Who you writing this book for? Who needs to read this book? And I always say men, especially young men, because we coming up.
Correct.
Right? We are going to be the next example. So that's who I wrote it for. But then, I had Lou Lyons talk, or he led a discussion at the book launch with Full Disclosure Radio. And he has said since then, women need to read the book.
Yeah.
Because women can get from it insight.
Yeah.
Into what a man's life is like from boyhood to manhood.
Yeah.
Something that men often hold back when they have in conversations with women because there's this fear of vulnerability.
Yeah.
So a lot of different things that I have to explore in the book, and I think it can be something quite influential as long as it's given the book.
Now we're gonna get real blast. We're gonna get real blast. Joel and them had to send that for me today, and I'm gonna get some blast. Alright. But thanks for calling, Dion.
That's good. Yeah, man. Anytime.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. Now, on this point that Dion just raised here, with regards to the men not feeling strong enough to say certain things, right? And the fact that women need to see it. I remember when, all you don't know this, but I'm going to air my laundry, right? I have a temper. I have a very bad temper, right? And I didn't know it was a problem until my mother-in-law told me it was a problem.
Serious?
Correct. So my wife didn't tell me because of fear, right? And I said, well, all right, I have to do something about it. So I went and I did anger management. It started out as anger management. And then the counselor asked to see my wife because he said, listen, you ain't living there by yourself. He's not a madman. So you need to figure out your triggers. Not knowing my mother and my wife is my two number one triggers, right? So she came, we went through the process and everything. And since then, I've seen the difference because women, you all know the power of your tongue, right? It's scathing. When all you're ready, right? It's scathing. And sometimes because of the highness of the emotion or the levels of the emotion, they will say what they feel to say. And then sometimes it will hit us. But then remember, we know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
And we like, why supposed to do it that way? She now tell me they boy.
This though ties back to what we were discussing at the very start.
Yeah.
If you see me as an equal, then it should not take when my tongue hot for you to pay attention.
Of course.
Because women be saying shit all the time.
Yeah.
Even in nice mood.
Yeah.
The only time though it has really stand out is when I had to light that shit on fire and it tilted behind you.
And it sting you.
And then they really start to feel.
It
And the
resonates
only
with you.
time men think is when they hurt now.
Yeah.
Because now you
You
Ego
are not
bruise.
reacting.
The ego bruise.
Yeah.
You feeling what?
I'm feeling safe in the middle here.
You are right. You are right.
I hear though, you support up.
You on that side of the table.
I die.
You can take him out right to reach over. Yeah, it's all right.
Now, but you're a fella with some girth, you know. You can, it's not a fair
One of we big problem is that we never see it.
Yeah.
As you was asking earlier, and there's a question that has been in my mind like, what is manhood?
Yeah.
Who defines
manhood?
what is manhood?
Yeah.
Who defines what it means to be a good man, a good friend as a man, a good father, a good uncle? Who
good
defines
uncle,
that?
yeah.
Right?
A good husband.
And then a good husband, right? So we don't have no definition of that, right? But then we jump into it.
Yeah.
So without any definition besides what I saw as a child growing up and what I received as a child growing up
Right.
from a father, uncle, a friend, whatever, then I jump into this thing now. And on top
Or
of that
you
now,
are thrown into the thing.
right,
Throne.
right?
Because that was something that came up in doing focus groups with men, that they didn't feel like they were guided into
Of
manhood.
course not.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, and they were
We were
forced
forced.
to grow up very, very, very early.
And
So at 15, you're supposed to be a man.
Almost overnight.
that force, yeah, why I create that force too in my personal life.
Right.
Like, I working since I go to school. Like when I was repeating, I buy everything for myself. My school shoes, school books, school uniform, everything. And since then, I have been seeing about myself.
Right.
Of course, I don't mean that as a knock to my parents because I was the first of 5. So they had 4 more to see about that they were seeing about. It's not to say it was negligence or nothing.
Right.
Plus, I was living with my grandfather at that time.
Right.
But I didn't have the same thing in our city, and I was asking the preparation. Then I, not satisfied at home, and decided I'm going to move out. And go into
Peace
rent.
start to fraught.
Mistake.
Real bubbles.
Smelling yourself.
Yeah.
Right now.
I do that at 21. I go on to pay a rent of $500 a month, and I working for $1,000 a month. I ain't talk about passage yet from where I was living to the work. I ain't talk about food. I ain't talk about light bill. No, nothing yet. And it's something we tell the children and everything. Yo, moving out of your parents' house should be your last thought right now. You're 17 or 18 years old.
Yeah.
Correct.
But nobody prepared. I went out there and did that.
Yeah.
Like, why would I want the child coming after me
To do the same thing.
to do the
Make
same
the
thing?
same
My
mistakes.
nieces, my nephews, if it's the only thing I ever talk to them about is that.
Yeah.
I'd say this though. I'd always encourage anybody to live on their own. I move out around the same time too. And part of that finding yourself, whether male or female, have to be done in isolation. Because when you're in your parents' home
When
or
you're prepared.
any home, good, absolutely.
Yes.
Because now we call know what parenting is.
Right.
But when you're in somebody else's space,
Yeah.
which is why too nobody can hold no
comfortable.
conversation with me about getting married and moving into your mother's house. Because
That's not
there's
even a conversation.
culture that exists there. And I have to abide by that culture.
Yeah.
And I acknowledge that.
Right.
But in order for me to learn and understand myself, and I can identify that there are things this space is not providing me with, it means I have to leave.
Yeah. So I could create my own.
Learn myself.
Culture.
Who am
Yes.
I outside
Yeah.
of this culture?
Do
Who am
I
I outside
really
of your
need to
rules?
wash whites by this time?
Yeah.
And I just wash
Yeah.
all the clothes one time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How does that work out for me? And then you
Yeah.
work out. But in order
That's
for you
actually
to
hard, really.
prepare a child,
Yeah, really, really
for
hard.
that,
Wash
the
together.
understanding of parenting is that is protection, and that's
Yeah.
incorrect. Parenting is preparation.
That's all right. Message.
Yeah.
You know, and that is it now, like, so we can look back. I really like that statement that you have 20/20 vision when you're looking back.
Yeah.
You know? And it's,
Hindsight is 20.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, so as you say, why would I want my child or children to go through that same thing? Like, yo, you will eventually leave and go.
Yeah.
Right?
But don't let it be me pushing you out.
Yeah, and prepare yourself. You running away, running out to go and do.
Where you go?
You had to go.
But
Yeah.
in some circumstances where you don't have no other choice, because that, let's be real, that is a reality for most in this space, where you have to leave. What is
Yeah.
better for
I
you,
felt that
prepared
way.
or not, is that you have to leave.
Yeah.
And you'll figure it out as you go.
That's the thing. There must be a sense of resilience and consciousness for accountability as you explore. I do
Yep.
not know. I have been taught all the wrong things. I have to relearn everything. I have to change my perspective. Versus, it's me and me alone. I know you're vexed with everybody. Take your time. Hold on.
Yeah, that was me falling
Hold
over.
on,
That last
hold
part
on,
was me
hold on,
falling
hold
over.
on.
Yeah, that was me
Hold
too.
on.
You know, I was
Hold
angry. Because shit was hard.
Yeah, of course.
Like, yo, you're walking from Sawa to Korea and thing because you're trying to save money to make sure you have money. At least you don't want to go to work sweaty.
But if you
Yeah.
didn't do
So
that
you have
walk,
money.
you would have never learned how to budget yourself properly
Yeah.
Correct.
as an adult.
So everything happened for
But
something
you
has
have
to happen for everything to
conscious
happen.
enough to see
see
it.
To
it. Yeah.
recognize the lesson.
Yeah.
And as you say, hindsight is 2020. So you ain't seen it any moment. You know,
Nah,
you have to
down the
walk
road.
quite
You just
white.
vexed.
So, and you're trying not to be vexed.
I cussing, I walking up there, and people boy, them passing me, and them over you going mad.
You're eating up yourself.
But even
And you
that
say
you
something-
can't express yourself, that I'm frustrated
Exactly.
by
Yeah.
this, suppressed.
Yeah.
And for me, I remember going to my first day on my first adult job. You know, my father tell me, smile on the people, okay? Because it's other thing like, for real, like, it's not a serious. But it's not a vex or nothing, no, just like
It's
from the
about
time I
natural
get silence for a little while.
Yeah.
It is just thinking now. Oh, so I know I walking in that road. Are you seeing me?
You change your countenance. Yeah.
But it what it do is it make me stronger in certain way.
Right.
I still better in certain things, I will admit that.
Yeah.
But it also put me in a mindset where my child can't go through that, boy. If you no, I'm not change that. Because she won't mind.
Right.
And she
If she
would
want to
really-
go through it,
if
yeah,
you
go through it.
if you want to go through that will be on you.
Yeah.
Or if the higher powers decide that she will go through that, she
That's
will
how
go
it's
through
going.
that.
Yeah, that's how it will be.
But I have to at least prepare knowing
That's all you
differently.
can do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to prepare.
And start managing your own emotions.
Yeah.
Because as a parent, when you have nurtured a child and it gets to that place where you have to send them out. I did not remember this. I don't know if you remember when Daddy did say this, that when I was 12, I apparently tell him of our quarrel thing or whatever, well, leave me alone, I'm going to make my own mistakes. I have no memory of that. But he said, I tell him that. He said, and after that?
He pull away.
I'm glad I did, though.
Yeah.
I'm glad I did. Because, again, in that trying to protect and trying to think, you're also keeping your children's development back. And you are operating from your truth,
Yeah.
which was from a different time period.
Unfair.
Yeah.
You're not trying to survive in the future. You might even see a future. The chances is they're going to be the ones to see the future. Are you preparing them for your reality or their reality?
Well, boy, thanks for telling me that, because I telling you straight, I dealing with that shit right now. Right? Because I'm not into this phone thing where everybody have phone in their hand and maturing. That's what they hate. That's what they're seeing. And I am saying, yo, it have a responsibility that come with that device that you're not ready for. Right? But do I give it to them and hope for the best? Or I have to give them it and micromanage them, which going to add a whole new realm of responsibility to
For
me
you as the parent.
that I don't feel I really want.
And you see, these little ones now, them is adapters, eh?
Yo.
Them, whoever micromanage you put on, I can guarantee
figure
you
out a way.
they're
Yep.
adapting
Yeah.
and just adjusting.
Let's figure out
I
a way.
think as you let them go, though, you have to keep the path back home clear.
Yeah.
In case of emergency,
Yeah.
I have a place I could go back to.
All right.
Keep that connection going. Let them
See,
fall
see,
and
see.
fail.
Yeah, and
That's
that comes
fine.
with communication.
Now
You have
relax.
to communicate
That's
with
what
your
we talking
children.
about
You have to
regularly these
communicate
days.
with each other. We
Yeah.
have to. We must.
Yeah.
That is the foundation of everything.
Communication. So I was going to say,
Read
we
some
had
of them comments now.
yeah, we had two comments. I have a voice note. I went and play that, and then we have a comment from Sheldon that I need to address, right? So we have a comment from
Yeah,
Isaiah.
people break up the whole panel, man. Shout out to y'all doing all that thing.
Big Ben.
I believe that this is something that the community really needs. You know, well, for all who know me, all you know is a rich man. I down on the ground. And we need to push this kind of positive energy towards our black brothers.
Well, Isaiah, being a groundsman, the responsibility is also on you because you had the link. You're online here today. Send it to some of your brethren and say, hey, you're taking this program here, taking what these people and them doing because, boy, I ain't lying to tell you, it's really hard to get to some all here.
Context is important too. Context is important again. When you see fellas talking the shippiness and because we know the conversations happen all the time. That is when you inject it. Now they must take in them fellas and them from black to black.
Correct.
On OURradio.fm.
So Sheldon Mendoza said, if a woman's strong point is her tongue and a man is his fist, then everyone tries to fight with their strengths. Sure. Before I finish that,
use a rap out.
Just jump above the stick.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Then he went on to say, we have to find a space within ourselves where there is no need to reach to the fight.
Agreed.
Then he said, we are going into relationships and going through relationships through trial and error. Correct. What, but yeah, plenty to say today, boy. A lot of building a legacy and creating inheritance may need the coming together of the family to purchase real estate, etc., like some of the other cultures do. So moving out is not always the best idea. We agree, but it's also, remember, it's individualism.
Yes, I was just about to say that as well too. Like, I might not necessarily want to buy property with my mother who is extremely toxic or my father who is abusive.
Correct.
Yeah.
Why would I put myself in a space like that?
Yeah.
You know, or why would I bring a partner into that space? Or why would I bring children into that space?
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of us, especially millennials, we would prefer to live with each other than to live with family.
Yeah.
Because what's the point of healing when I going back and take the same knife and open my wound? Get it together.
The stitches and even heal it.
You ever go back just because we had the same blood? No. You are dangerous to me.
So it is on a case by case basis.
Yeah, and you're seeing that in the financial sector too, because things like mortgages, all they don't want on a part of that. I talk to some of it's like, Dan, we don't know house. I rather rent. And tomorrow if I feel to boss and go south, I go in south.
The ability to move.
I don't even want to rent, to be real honest with you. I rather backpack all over the world.
The movement
all over and meet nice people and go. Why I stay in one place?
Yeah. So you see how the change of the generation has caused perception.
There's something he was saying there just now to the women that fight with the tongue, man that fight with the fist, and using of those weapons. But that doesn't help in a resolve.
Right.
And I would say that the resolve is understanding or accepting that both men and women also have the same weapon of the air. And listening.
That's why you have two.
Yeah, listen twice as much as you're talking.
One for you and one for he.
And he said here, earlier in the comments, he said a lot of men are afraid to express themselves to their women because it has been thrown back in their faces as a weakness in the past. But then you are also at this point projecting your past shit onto current thing, and that might not be the relationship that you have now.
Correct.
So you need to address your stuff on your end.
Yes.
And then see
look for a partner.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to fight man for that.
Like, why you think because you couldn't talk to Sharon, you can't talk to me?
But not just that. Also, you do acknowledge that when you hurt somebody, they doesn't want to do the same things again.
Yes.
Yet still, I am expected
to
boy, if you don't, we could spend from now until Jammettes premiere season 2 September 4th. And we could talk from now till then about the hurt that women and black women have experienced. But one person do you something, I know I must be punished for that, but go from here.
So from a man's perspective,
it goes both ways.
Exactly. That's the point.
From
That's
a
what I'm
man's
saying.
perspective now, women's hurt is more publicized than men's hurt.
Because it's easier. Remember, the narrative is that women are weak.
Yes.
All right.
So if I keep that narrative that women are always emotional, always hurting about something, and always the victims and whatever, it keeps the mentality in your mind that I am not strong enough.
Yeah. And then this ties back into the topic for today, which is what's the role of the woman in the community, which is like right now we have a friend who experiences some things from a woman who playing that card. And I telling you, I will ride for my brethren. Because
God,
a woman
no.
should not, and just because women are quote unquote perceived as being the weaker sex or whatever, you're not going to use that to your advantage to destroy my brethren.
Yeah.
Your man?
Yeah.
No, I standing up with him because you're not going to get away with that. I, as a woman, watching you as a woman, I'm not going to allow you to do that.
Yeah.
That accountability.
And that accountability
Yeah.
is missing. Yeah. That's what I was going to say before the phone ring. I have to give credit to, it's only 2 females I know doing what it is you doing there. You? Well, I know you know. You're the second one. And the girl who has buy my beard oil products, Opulence, right? Nikima, Shaker, big up yourself if you're listening. She has all, so you know, right? She has also, right? She has also decided.
You're so sick, Nene.
I know, right?
Because in the space that she's in, she is creating products for men, self-care products, beard oil, facial wash, body
Self-care
scrub.
for men. That wasn't a thing just 5 years ago.
Well, I want to say self-care, but all you know what I mean.
No,
When we go Pennywise.
I'm saying just that.
Yeah.
Self-care and men was never a thing.
Yes, correct. Your uncle Ashley.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
spoken about that.
Because you was working hard.
Yeah.
For me, I put some oil on your face.
You're walking out, you're two are up together, you're bum up the place.
Yeah.
We have spoken ad nauseum about men taking care of themselves. Take care of your feet. Make
Yes.
sure your feet.
Yeah, them foots, fellas, them foots.
Yeah.
The head dry, cutting up. I want people to hug you up. But go from here and rub up some focus in there and get it together.
Check Molly.
You're good.
But even that can be a sharing of feminine energy there.
Yes.
Understand me? And moments of intimacy. We understand that men need taken care of as well. If they
Right.
would allow you to.
Yes.
Right? That can be an individual thing because for some people, gain their experiences are different.
Yeah.
And so now I go thinking of myself. Or do it with your partner. Like you see the videos often of not often, but me know all the algorithms thing. But like men who would comb the wife's hair or moisturize the scalp or whatever, return the favor. That is self-care. No,
Well, I is a man used to want to wash my wife here, but she's a naturalista now.
Yeah.
And I can't do it a particular way because I got knot up and all kind of back and
Yeah,
out.
she
So it's not
just
that I
can't
don't
deal
want to
with
do
you.
it. It's not that I don't want to do it. I
in the
do too.
reverse.
Yes.
In the reverse. Men don't know how to, they're not on that self-care thing and oil long. When you oil long, them know that's come from a pot. Then oil them down.
I tell she that here today.
Then oil them down.
You're telling me my ass dry. I said, Dan, use a hairdresser. Link it now. I don't know nothing about that. I chima.
My mother used to say for you to go out there and people go say how he wifely.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So I want to give kudos to the ladies, Taika, for embarking on that initiative. Also to Nikima for embarking on that initiative because I telling all that we need it.
Yeah.
Right? In the barber shop, we always talking them kind of thing, right? And the reason why my shop set up the way it's set up, which is the one-to-one, is to give men
that
freedom to say things,
Yep.
you know, feel, be emotional about it. Nah, I ain't trying to be judgmental, brother.
Yeah.
You sometimes fellas come in the shop and I watching and I was like, dog, all the time you come in, one boy, ting. This particular time you come in, your head low, you shade at them down here, you ain't even smiling, what boy, ting. I nearly feeling myself. Well,
You
say
understand
something.
that your work is exactly what we just described, right?
Yeah.
That intimacy in self-care.
Mommy, my mother warned me about that, you know. She said, Karen, now what are you gonna do day?
It hard.
Understand.
Yeah.
It's wait. Because fellas is come and do so.
And offload themselves on you.
Correct. And
then
I
when
had
I
to
come out, I
leave
look
that
in.
And I
in the
asked
shop.
him nothing. I'm like, yo, will you just do, man?
Yeah. How you? Who do you offload on? Because then that will mix up with your temper.
Correct.
And then your wife says something and then it's clash.
Yeah. Nah, we talk to she, I talk to she, man. She know the things. If things, she's know too.
Yeah.
Depending on the
That's
mood
it.
that come inside,
Yeah.
and she will know, all right, let me give her 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Or let me deal with it one time.
Yeah,
Give me
'cause
my
that
5
particular
minutes, 2
thing-
years. I know, come up from the road, you want to talk to me?
Yeah.
No. Jeez.
But then there's a teaching in that.
Of course.
Yeah.
Men like to think that women just talk too much.
Right.
People like me just talk too much. I acknowledge that. But men like to think women just talk too much and women say men don't talk enough. And again, mutual communication. Women just talk plenty because they don't know. So they have to figure it out and pry it out of you.
Yeah.
Men don't talk at all because of that
Fair.
fear, period, because we discussed that already,
Yeah.
that fear. And so even when it comes to teaching, a man tracking me, and I asked him the other day, if do you teach people how to learn you? He said, nah.
So how?
So I'm like, he said, just observe through observation along the way. I said, but that seems inefficient to me.
No, you feel in science, primary school science.
But that's the reality of most of, well, at least I can speak for the millennials, my generation. That's the reality of it. You just operate through observation, right? And I can understand why too,
That's
because a lot of women are lying. They say one thing and they
then
mean
do
something
something.
else.
Oh God, that's how.
All I feel I need to come on this today. We can if I start on this part here.
So I acknowledge that.
I don't want a relationship.
That's why men does do, you know, pretty things.
I don't want a relationship.
I'm gonna take lunch
But,
for the man.
but there are ways to teach somebody. So you had to teach Candace how to identify certain moods with you.
Yeah.
But before you could teach your partner that,
You want to
you
know
want to know it.
You want to know?
Of course.
Imagine that, Imagine that.
But you want me to just understand because
Just watch
that when you
first.
see your mother do your father,
What's
this
that
time you
you
ain't
know?
tell me nothing about that. I don't know nothing about your childhood.
Yeah.
I talking to people, women who married and like when certain conversations come up and I so how your father used to think, I don't know, he don't talk about that.
Excuse?
Dog, why am I marrying a man who
You don't know nothing
I
about.
don't know nothing about his backstory? I
Correct.
don't know.
Boy, listen, that's a dangerous game. I'm not playing that.
I hear that shit.
That is not
For
my
love and
ministry.
piggy boy? No! No! I need more. I need you to tell me more. I need you to show me more and as let everybody know.
Yeah.
And again, I'm not going lower than my bar. My mother was raised in a very abusive household.
Right.
And my mother broke that generational curse of finding a good husband and a good father.
Big up yourself,
particularly
Uncle
for
Gerald.
her children, right?
Yeah.
Now I say any man perfect.
Nah, he ain't perfect. He ain't
but
perfect. He ain't perfect.
definitely, Judy, break that generational curse there.
Yeah.
And I see that as my responsibility to honor that.
Yes.
My father is the bar.
And
Right?
which it should be.
My father
So
is
we
the
going
bar.
above.
Yesterday
Yeah,
I
you
was
have to go higher
riding
than
with
that.
some young musician. They have 4-year-olds and thing and whatever. And they talk is guilt trend they have and they talking about when my girl, my daughter and boys coming around and I see him sit down in the gallery talk and I go have my camera there and it's no sit down in car outside, I don't know, because I know why you sit doing car and and they go on and that's one of them say, all of that is speed talk. All of that is speed. Nah, Joel, I'm telling you, especially as a daddy's girl, all of that is speed talk.
Yeah.
The only thing as a father for Giltran that you could do is be the example of how she's supposed to be treated.
Yeah.
That's right.
And I tell you, I not sit down in no car with no man. It's not happening.
Yeah.
It's
Come here,
not
come better
happening.
than that, my brother.
Yeah.
Now my father does be begging them, what do? Stay
Just
away.
take
Stay
shit.
away.
Yeah, stay outside now. Stay outside. Yeah.
You don't know, you don't tell me, you don't want this pressure.
Yeah.
You don't want this pressure. And then I just wanted to tell them, but it's your own fault.
Yeah.
You are the bar.
Yeah.
And I do get that boomers don't understand the reality of what has happened to millennial men and the hurt that they're working through right now. Honestly, I think it might take about 5 to 10 years again before some of them are really in a space where they can really and truly
When
be
they
in
catch
partnerships.
themselves.
Yeah.
And when we're 30s now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So realistically, we're looking like in the 40s. But I
So-
can appreciate that they're doing the work.
Yeah.
So all the parents who expecting their children in their late 20s and early 30s to get married.
Big up you and that. Big up you and that.
So let me ask on this now,
Hope I got answer.
right? Where's that money? Boomer.
Okay. So
We is millennials.
Yeah.
Well, we.
We is
Yeah.
millennials.
Yeah. The four of
You
us
just
are-
older millennial to me,
Yeah.
but we still millennials.
Yeah.
Boomers is my mother and them.
So the children in the 80s,
80s.
90s, up until
Up to 2000.
Up to 2000
Yeah.
are millennials.
Right.
And then the ones now is the Gen Zers.
Yeah, the Zoomers.
You.
Yeah.
And then anybody before the 80s is Gen X.
Yeah.
The Michael Jackson, Pepsi
70s.
era, the Gen
Yeah,
X.
yeah.
Right.
And then you have, before the Gen X's, you have the
The boomers, yeah.
So let me
Baby
why
boomers.
ask that now?
Yeah.
When we categorize like that, everybody see themselves in that, or are we making realistic comparisons or putting people in real boxes
No, I think it applies.
valid.
It's valid
Yeah.
Because it's culture, it's how you were nurtured
Correct.
in that time period.
Correct.
Yeah, the technology you had access to or did not have access to,
Yeah.
the shows that you would have looked at, the interactions
Influence.
with
The
friends, and that
environment, the
kind of
general
thing.
culture, it's very
Yeah.
much
So I'm
valid.
gonna tell you why I
That's
asked
why
that
it's
now.
important to understand where people come from so that you understand how to interact with them.
Yeah.
Or use a boomer, so why say not gonna make no kind
sense
of
to
sense
you.
to you right now?
Yeah.
you know?
And I'm going to tell you why I asked that for clarification for a conversation I was having with somebody. That's when we had mentioned in the first or the second show that we parents come from a certain time where it are certain things they never adjusted to and they will never adjust to now.
Yeah.
And the person take it as an offense now.
Well, they could take it to the therapist or the Lord in prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But that's
for
really
me-
what it is.
For me, that don't matter
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
But I was just saying, because they come from that time too now.
Yeah.
The reason why I asked it like that so sarcastically is because even though they took it as an offense, they have the same mindset.
Of course.
Right. I mean, there are people who born in a certain era, they're not using no microwave talk.
Yeah.
They're warming up their food.
Oh, yo.
Yeah, in
Here's
the
the next one.
pot.
Here's the next one. I'm not getting no game for little plenty TV because games is mash up the TV.
TV, yeah.
I'm gonna call some names now. Nadia, Anton, Aaron, and Avila. Only remember that. They're my brothers and sisters. Only remember that. No, but again,
Nintendo does
it's
mash
based
up
on
TV.
what you know now. You know, yeah.
Yep, and how you interact with the space. You know, we are very fortunate that we experience life analog, and then we witness the transfer
Digital.
into
Yeah.
digital, and then we living in digital. So it's like I see videos on the internet of like children trying to figure out what a cassette is or a rotary telephone, and I'm like, I'm so sorry for all y'all that didn't experience
This is
life.
in
They didn't miss it.
2019
Yeah.
when I was going to do the fashion show in New York.
Yeah.
My niece and them went in the airport with me, right?
Yeah.
I have a picture with her in the airport holding the phone, but she asking her mother, which is my little sister, Mommy, what
What's
is
this? It's a telephone.
And it's
you
2019.
and you have to go by Nelson Exchange.
With your quarters
With your
or
quarters.
your companion
And
calling her.
The phone book used to be underneath the phone book.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it had a hardcover so it wouldn't get wet in the rain. And you go and
Now,
try to
me, I
find the
never use
number.
that. I
And
always
then
go
you
the
say-
number in my head,
Yeah.
my coins or my companion calling.
I'm a little book. I'm a
People
little
thought
book.
that a racket now because why? You memorize the 16 numbers on the companion card. So all you do is you stand up in front of the phone booth by Caribbean glass. I'm on. What going on there?
Yeah, the code, oh, yeah, the code.
But it's just like I memorize the
Numbers, yeah. I have all my phone cards and thing a long time. I get your TSC phone card. I have the ones with the cricketers, with the footballers, with the pan,
And
all
think
kind
will
of
be
thing.
with plenty this now.
I'm holding on to them.
Yes.
I'm holding on to them.
Yeah. Put them in a Ziploc.
We had to work. Now them don't have to work for nothing.
Yeah.
Like, don't message me here. I was telling you like, but hi,
Yeah.
go for me. Long time you had to work. Them getting it instant, so they
Yeah.
don't have to. You have to go wrong the dial so and then
Yeah.
wait for it to go back and then right.
Yeah.
No, the next number.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
I never experienced because we didn't have internet at that time. But you see that dial up that I say everybody talk about. Yeah, I never experienced it. Though. I get internet after
When
that.
the
Now,
serious
where
now
I
come
hear
out.
people talk about it.
Oh, nah, boy.
Yeah, you had
You
to
know what
wait.
because you're going on there, you come here, you double click on your little computer down there. It starts a dial.
Wait.
And
And
then-
hope.
and
Yeah,
hope.
hope because it could fail too.
Correct.
Yeah.
And your mother could pick up the phone.
Yes.
But when she pick up the phone, that's it for that, you know. You have to start over, you know.
It's done. It's a wrap.
Them don't know about that.
We did
And
it.
what about the
Showtime.
beeper? Yeah, the beeper.
Yeah. Pages, yeah.
I thought pages would last longer.
I think so. I thought they would have last longer too.
Now with the cell phone rushing
boy.
in.
Yeah, that cell phone come and mash up the dance.
Toasty.
No, but
Come on, kick with this.
It will give people a little extra life. The cost of
Yeah.
phone calls.
Yeah.
This is my
$6
old
a
boss used to
minute.
answer your phone, right? He's a businessman. They're calling for business. Every time you phone ring, I swear to all this face. Hello? Yeah, all right, okay.
Quick.
Because it's like
He said in the
$8,
pocket.
$6
He
a
said in the
minute.
pocket.
not per second minute.
No.
$8 even if you only talk for 2 seconds where they receive the call. Or you
Any part thereof.
Any
Yes.
part thereof.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, but it have a certain connection too, though. That
Yeah.
for me, I just miss that this takeaway, the instant ability in the site. Like I remember, we used to get real kicks off for this. I remember, and as a full-fledged adult, working TSTT and running home from Shogunas to El Dorado to log into MSN chat. To chat. And they were open, I hope it have a green dot by Jarrell thing this, so that means she online.
She online.
You understand?
So we can chat.
To chat now.
So we can chat.
But that's the only time I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Unless I have your phone number and I'm willing to run up my phone bill to call and thing now.
Yeah.
Now with this accessibility, people don't seem to appreciate time.
Yeah.
I agree. A long time remember we had to take all the lyrics out the showtime. Sunday by the phone booth. You're going to sing, you understand?
I can't don't know what I like because the phone
Acapella.
was literally in front
Over
of
the
the
road,
house.
yeah.
I watch on a bar tire item. I don't think it have a phone booth in bar tire. I mean, use by.
Chris is right when he said though that to a certain extent, because the music does affect. Because like we're talking about this and like going on Messenger and all these things, and the way you communicate with people.
Yeah.
And you know, you learn how to have conversations. Now these children have social anxiety at levels unheard of.
Right.
They're afraid to talk.
Yeah.
And or if they do have to have a conversation, which can only happen on a platform. In real life, bare madness. This is not affecting him, right?
They can't talk.
They can't talk.
Real
But Chris is right in the sense of the music has a part to play. And while I do acknowledge what he's saying, you also have to understand the cause.
Right.
And the cause is important because we listen or consume art
Different ways.
to relate and to
Right.
express.
Right.
And so if you have a generation that all the frequencies they absorb in is aggressive, that's supposed to say something.
Yeah.
So even though you say any topic as sex, that means nothing.
True.
Because I could literally go all the way into the 40s and find some kind of
music.
content
course.
that
Of course.
loosey-goosey, right?
Of course.
So
But-
sweet.
And let me be real, Sparrow is one of the biggest
Vulgar,
misogynists.
yeah.
Not just vulgar, but he was a misogynist.
Him, Shorty.
Shorty, yes, the big Lord Shorty who wanted to think I could play some Shorty tunes for you and I'll make you cringe, though.
Some nanny tunes, some nanny tune.
Cringe. Misogyny is continued to be a big part of what our parents were raised off of.
Right.
That's why misogyny exists
Still.
subtly in this space now.
Yeah.
The music that he talking about, you know, the romance, it was still talking sex though.
Yeah.
Right? We still talking sex. At no point were there.
I mean, Barry White could tell it you're smoother, but he's still telling you what to bust them draws.
Yeah.
only Michael Jackson probably had a song out there that wasn't about an intimate partner, but a friendship, and that was the pet rat.
Girl, close your eyes, let the music come into you. Get it together.
And so all the music was teaching was how to track.
Liberian
Quality of
girl.
voices, how
Yes.
to track.
Voice the men.
That, you just wanted a smooth way to get
Luther?
in with girl. Oh, gosh.
No, it's just a little rougher around the edges.
Because of that
little.
fast pace.
A little.
But there's also the imbalance of it.
Yeah, we don't
That is
have.
my big problem.
We don't have
Imbalance
enough
of
That
it.
is my problem.
But you can't. But then the problem is not what they're creating. Again, art is an expression of self. If all that you are around is aggression and ignorance,
Yeah.
how do you want me to create something nice?
Nice.
So we
and
here
soft.
today, right? So we here
Yeah.
today. How? Give us a suggestion to bring back some of that balance.
No, but this
Because
is
that's the
the
problem.
point of the conversation. You have to be able to have the conversations
To
and
start.
engage in that feminine energy, men and women. But you have to be willing to receive it.
We
Yeah.
can talk till the cows come home, the cows home drinking tea, and we still talking about
And
Yeah.
the lack of the absence of feminine energy is not just in men, you know, it's also in women.
women.
Yeah.
But I believe right now a lot in women because
Yeah.
the kind of things that we see in women, like Myrtle, you don't have to do all of that.
Yeah.
Calm down, get it together, right?
And I think a lot of it comes from and stems from that thing of if you are just as hard as the fellas, you will seem more appealing
To
to
them.
men,
Yeah.
No.
Because-
Hell no.
right?
I was
It's
gonna
that
say-
thing of well, if the fellas and them this kind of music they consuming, then this is the
Yeah.
kind of music I have to dance to or play or know
Right.
the lyrics to or whatever.
That's how everything connected.
So
And
to
let me
get
show you how it's
together.
dangerous. Yeah? Me and Tigers be big up young brother. I love young brother boy. Hey, I ain't gonna lie. That you talented, no raz. The first time I hear about him, Johnny Panda, I was like, yo. But understanding again where he come from, what he's been exposed to.
And why is that is the go-to?
We listening to one of his songs the other day. And Taika is saying, but what kind of sex them having? Because they try to describe a backshot vibes or whatever. I can't remember which
Yeah,
song
yeah.
it is, boy.
And he
Right.
said, lean back.
Lean back over here, lean back over here, lean back. It was that one I think it is.
How
when
we
you're listening to
leaning
the setup of the positioning, and it's I saying, but Taika, I'm concerned. You know.
That physics not working out for Obsy.
James Plasticine,
Then the kind of things they're saying in it, I'm like, these girls going to experience some very violent, going to have some very violent sexual experiences.
And think that that's normal.
And think that that's where it's supposed to be.
Yep.
We already have these girls being abused and touched by adults in this space from even when they're children, right? And so if I start there, and when I get old enough to actually choose partners, and the music that I'm around and everything is saying that, then I think that's where it's supposed to be. What kind of adult am I to expect as a woman?
Yeah. And then you bounce up somebody who you would consider a soft.
A soft
No,
man.
you just call them a simp now.
Yeah.
That's the name.
See that
Simp.
a whole thing and I turn them in
They
that.
call them simps now.
I turn them in
Which
that.
Which is any display of feminine
emotion.
energy.
Or
Any display of feminine
I wouldn't
energy.
even say a feminine energy is a certain level of gentleness.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what they associate
With
feminine
feminine.
energy as.
Them no love making. Them no
But
about
they never experience it on no level, on an intimate level as well as any sort of level.
Yeah.
There's no experience of feeling loved or feeling seen unless it posts on a social media and I get X amount of likes or something.
Yeah.
Let me say something, which is along the boomers and thing line, right? It's something that I have been paying attention to. So, being a child of a boomer, a boy of a boomer, my father was a womanizer, hands down. 7 children, 5 different women, straight. And we just find out we have our next one, right?
Hey,
When he did.
welcome to the family.
When we there, we find out that, right? So I'm saying, I saw that. I saw my mother receive that, right? Meaning that you're living in the house with she. I see her for myself, right? Doing that. Say, well, all right, no problem. But I come home, I want to dismantle the house. So Auntie Gina's like, nah, Karen, stay out of that. That big people thing, right? No problem.
Husband and wife thing.
I did. I stay outside, right? But what it did to me was tell me no. Because remember, as I say, my mother and them were the pinnacles
For you.
for me. So I seen you ill-treating my mother. Flip the script now. I am the man. I am not going to repeat that. But what it did is it created in me an ability to want to talk to my wife, to want to live right by my wife, to want to do all these things by my wife, right? And then the daughters of them men, hear me out, seeing that, knowing the father married,
Let's go.
and say, here, what's going on? Me don't know part of that. Because if my father is a married man and doing that, I don't want no husband. Right? And now, me, soft man, simpy. What is it? I see a video this one, you call it Simba. Simpy Simba. I was sending video for you, right? Where's Simpy Simba? Out here communicating with my wife, talking with she, holding she hand in the road, going for dinner, all the nice things.
Yeah.
And she know, well, she's not a product of that, right?
Yeah.
Thank God, right? Because she father was almost, same generation.
Yeah.
And she just chose not to do that. But there are women out there who do not want relationship like that. They don't want to be married.
They attach too much to the trauma.
To the hurt, yeah.
For me, it's not attachment to the trauma, you know. I just would rather not kill you. I'm not engaging in the violence.
Myron B does say,
choose.
Myron B watch. He said, Jarrell, all the woman doesn't understand, you know. He said, all you could train the dragon, you know. And he's not the first man
To tell you that.
to say them thing. Snoop Dogg talk about it too when he talk about it was on Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
When he talk about Kanye and Kim. He said the problem with Kanye is he ain't had no black aunties around him. Because in this space, which is why we just do what we do with the Jammettes.
Yeah.
In this space, every yard, every barrack yard, every village, you had elders in there.
Yeah.
And if you didn't have elders, the women is what kept things up.
Together, correct.
The men were the
matriarchs.
face of it. But that engine in the background, under Yoruba history, is the women were the breadwinners in the space, you know. That's why now when you bring them here in Trinidad, we come under colonial thing. Them men want all the woman to feel all they had that kind of weight inside of the space. Get it together. No, man's supposed to be the thing and and then again the church teach you certain things, but it goes against what is natural to you. Right?
Yeah.
So Earlier we touched on you respecting, we think on you whatever. As a woman, I have all the power. People just want to say when it comes to racism, I personally believe the biggest controller on our racism card was white women.
Yes.
Not
Yes,
just
definitely.
not just white people.
White women.
White women.
And that is documented. That has been studied at nauseam in certain species.
I remember they created the feminist movement during the civil rights movement to derail it.
Yes.
Now, when you play black women card, that trumps white women. You could fight me. I'm willing to fight that with anybody. Because even if we wipe out white women, and it's only one white man, again, the next white child you could get could only come to a black woman. Right? So...
God, that's all.
When you understand the weight women have in the space,
Right.
when I as a woman understand the weight I have in a space, and when I say in a space, whether it's in my own house, in the village, in this station, in the wherever the case is, I cannot be soft with that.
Yeah.
There are moments of being soft, and then there's soft power. And I acknowledge those two and know when to play which card.
Yeah.
Right? That is important. Okay, you can't be running out with your sword swinging all the in time. Like, get it together.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like we all traumatized enough. We
Of
don't need
course.
any more sword swinging.
Yeah.
If I understand my value as a woman, ain't no way, no how. A man coming in my chat every day to tell me I gorgeous. Go in and get me to react.
No.
Get it together. But this is the bar.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what people expect. It's literally as
The
far
bare
as
minimum.
bare minimum now.
Good morning, and you're ready to go.
Yo, but
You're supposed to just
real
moist. You're supposed to be moist after
Well,
you get that good
from
morning.
a woman perspective, right? But from a man perspective, that shit really easy to get accustomed to. Right?
What's it good morning?
To be a man.
Well, stick. You know why it's easy to get accustomed to? Because you're engaging. People engage in that bare minimum.
like-
You can't run that. If this space had more people who don't, women, Orlando Octave come on the same table, and people go on social media and vex when he say that the space lack women.
Yeah.
I am supporting that
No,
statement.
I agree.
Yeah.
I make
am
a
supporting
statement.
that statement.
I make a statement on Facebook. I tell you, I was listening to Slam a morning, and a man call in and say, women had to bring down the standards. Watch me, I nearly
Go and
crashed.
tell your
Hold
mother
on,
that.
hold on. I nearly crashed because I want to mash up my radio.
I agree with him.
I say, my
I
brethren.
agree his mother dropped his standards by
standard.
breeding with his father
Oh,
to make
Jesus,
him.
correct.
I agree with
Correct.
him. I embarrassed for his mother on she behalf.
Correct.
Because how you could go on a platform like that and say something like that?
Right.
You know, the sad
No, but
thing about it,
here was why
you
he
will
said
have
it.
people agreeing with that.
But men calling after him and agreeing.
That, for me, for one person,
Because it's easier work for them
As
to
opposed
get
for you
through.
to uplift yourself.
No.
Correct.
No.
To reach the standard, to be better.
No,
Correct.
get it
No, but
together.
remember,
Correct.
as men, plenty, we have it. We talking about that in a different way too. As men, plenty men have it that you ought to come to me.
If you train under that right sensei,
Yeah.
you ain't had to worry about no small fry.
Yes.
Right.
Agreed.
I'm not saying no to none of that, you know. But as I was saying, instead of you come up to it,
Yeah.
no, remember, plenty we grew up under the men that we right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Man right.
Yeah.
Right? They
But
show
and
honestic
that
mindset.
just says, it goes to show what she is saying correct. If we go back, this always say it, if you don't know your history, you
Know
don't
where you come
repeat it.
from to know where you're going.
Right. And if we go back, we don't want to go back to Africa. You know, every time we
No.
talk that, everybody's like, what we going back there for? Mean born day, I born
They're
Trinidad.
ready for us, so I'm ready to go anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but even if you're born here and you accept here,
Right.
what are you doing with the soil that you are in right now? Because right
Nothing.
now, yeah, as Matix, Matix remember from out the Bible some years back, end up planting seed in soil that's not fertile, dog. And
Correct.
right now, this shadow land, the dirt is barren
Sand.
and patched.
You looking to plant pimento
But,
in
yeah.
clay.
It's correct,
It's
it's
gonna work.
But me even going there with them,
Yeah.
I'm like, you're not African, okay, is that Trini? Yeah.
What is that, Trini?
What does it mean to be a Trini? What is a Trini?
And how are you contributing to the
To the
same
space
society?
that you say you're
Years
from.
ago, when I was working here, City that a youth man sang a song in the Calypso competition called The Living in the An. And I wish he didn't make it to the big yard of that.
I couldn't say
Right.
that.
Yeah, living in the end.
Yeah. He tell them now he's saying all the different things that are going wrong, but people don't see it and think, especially the people with the money and the positions.
Yeah.
And he says, because they're not living in Trinidad.
Them living in the
They're not
hand.
living in Tobago.
They're living in the end.
They're living in,
Plenty
and that's the
people-
reality of it. We
Plenty
can't
people
see
living in
this,
the end.
imagine this discussion. We can't go on a, you know me, I don't call the name.
Yeah.
We can't go on them 5 station and them 7 station and them and them SSS station and them and have these discussions. Why?
You say that. I work on them station for about 8 years. I can tell you, I used to talk them thing on the radio too, eh?
But we is.
Well, you know why? You know why? Because after a while, you realize.
It's making sense.
No. Because I built my fan base off of that.
Right.
Because there are people who are listening who acknowledge that.
Right.
And which is why my brand is what it is now, because of that support. But you also have to understand when it's time to take, because that was a journey for me and that was an evolution to when to move the hell on.
Right.
And go on into something better. Or if I go down and let that fruit, it's like a because you're sitting down waiting a while for somebody to just get it, it'll go bad.
Yep, it goes bad.
And that lesson that plenty of us didn't learn.
No.
Stay
Even
loyal
women
to
and men.
or stay in positions and places.
That keeping me back, that leaving me to rot.
Yep.
No.
Why I must stay with a man who don't want to evolve himself and I go in?
Yeah.
It's a constant evolution. I want a partner who evolving with me.
me.
Yeah. And
Correct.
also
And it goes
spaces
both
as
ways.
well too, like organizations, and you feel sometimes like you're duty bound and there's a sense of loyalty.
Yeah.
Please.
And I
And
tell
you
them that
should
is
be
use that
there.
word again. So
Yes.
see loyalty.
Yeah.
But them just
They're
use
not
that shit
loyal
against
to we
you,
though.
right?
They're not loyal to
No.
us.
Loyalty
The minute
is one
somebody
way.
else walk in the door offering something that seem better than what you offering, they bust
Right.
your throat.
You
That's
bet on
right.
the wrong horse, easy.
Easy,
And you
easy.
argue with the horse in the
And
pocket.
that happened to me
I just do
numerous
that, you know.
times.
Yeah.
I just better now. Fuck it.
Beep,
I take say we could. No, but I do that. I mean, and we experience. I think each one of us experience that. Watch for that. You ain't just bet on the horse and keep passage to go, man.
Yeah.
You spend the passage, the roti money, the red solo money,
The vex money, everything.
Because
Horse,
it's
you
looking
better on that horse.
boy, you see it.
Sure.
You see it.
You go with it.
And then they go on with your ghost
Watch
easy.
man.
Bust your throat.
You know, but again, is a learning experience.
Yeah.
How do we put this everything we just say here into the context of we life, boy, especially when it comes to us, because a part of what we want to do, our aim is to reach to the young people.
Yeah.
How do we do that? But I'm not claiming to have the answers, because I realize that I real stagnant. Some things you're saying, they just not wanted to stop you and tell you about, wanted you to make your point. Your song like Chief Lyric Clark bad.
Oh, don't say that.
Oh,
man.
jeez,
Watch
I
me.
need this.
Your song,
Yikes.
you know, no, in the going.
She's a sponge, you know.
Yeah.
She don't like to admit it, but she's a sponge.
You know, and
Wait, a minute.
You
You
absorb.
soak up and
You
absorb
soak up
from all
thing,
the
and then when you squeeze it, you mightn't feel it's there, but it's the same thing coming out.
right,
Yeah.
I fortunate to
Not a
spend
bad sponge.
a real good amount of time, especially as an adult, recently, right before the chief passed, with Lyric Clark.
Yeah.
Like somebody I know since a baby.
Yeah.
Right? And get to appreciate, because why? I get to sit down with him in the quiet time and hear him talk and thing, and especially you start off talking, you know, Lyric, you start off talking soft, and then you just go up in, and some of the points that he was making, I that energy was right there. You know, to me, we lack giants like that in we community, you know, because they try to silence him all out.
Yeah.
He will say something, and you know, I agree with it, but it's discussions to have now.
Yeah.
And I agree with some of the conversations I had with him, like, but what we doing?
Basically, that's the thing. I have issues with her. I fighting you. There you go.
So my thing is this, right?
Like a boxer?
The question what he was going to ask, what he asking basically is, for me, I really do business, just like she, right? I grew up with this child. She's a child to me still,
Yeah.
right? I hold she hand, walk
Yeah.
into go music, and bring she back and thing, right?
Yeah.
So anybody wanna dance?
Yeah.
We dancing. We la bada in. Right.
I just be afraid, you know. I just
Yeah.
be afraid for anybody who come wrong with me. You know,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
she
know
are real
who walking
warriors.
behind me.
She are real warriors behind she. But I'm saying, even in my relationship with my wife and my daughters and thing, you had to give people power, right? And I find like, I don't know where it's going. We don't speak power into people anymore.
Yeah.
And to me, women, boy, have a power that men, I don't know if they're afraid it, but middle business, you're a woman, you have a power. Know your role. You understand what I'm saying? And we have a thing now where every time I say role it's like a derogatory term. But we have different roles.
Everybody in the village have the role and responsibility. What is yours?
What I'll say? With the neighbor? The song with the neighbor. A man is you can't have a king without a goddess or something. So
So every god, you must have a goddess.
Right.
I know rocket science, since there is knowledge.
Right.
Every king must have a queen. Otherwise, your little babies come in.
Right. Because no matter what we want to say, right? No matter how we want to twist it and turn it, we can't be without all it.
And vice versa.
We come from woman, right? So, yes, the father important because without the seed and the da, that nurturing, I killing you for my mother. Normal. I am murdering you, sit down in your blood for my mother, Jed. That is just what it is. And that's how I train in my sons.
I just say it as no. It's only me. Like even for my brother, me and he don't rally all the time. But nobody else is to go wrong here.
That's right.
Because that's my work.
That's right.
I understand my role as he big sister.
That's right.
He could do what he want if me and he raps, and that between me and he, right? But nobody else is to do that because no, you're doing my work, and I didn't ask you to do my work. Right? Same with my mother and father.
Right.
You don't know how them is, and people who do know me. My parents, to me, is chalk and cheese.
Yeah, boy.
Oh,
Stark opposites.
because these people, the world could do them thing. I's not of that.
Yeah.
I understand now, especially as an adult, why the two of them are that way. Big up them and that.
Yeah.
But I also know, and I'm more. When I was younger, I probably thought that something was wrong with me, and you know that whole black sheep mentality, and But no. Sometimes, and I say this in big, I ain't afraid. Sometimes. What people, especially with women, and this is one of the things particularly with my mother, because of her abusive, how she was raised or whatever, I thought that something was wrong with me growing up plenty. But then only as I got older, I realized, no. I am what my mother willed. The things that she wished she wanted for herself in her circumstance. And there's a manifestation that happens particularly with women. Like, for example, me and Taika sit down here. Our grandchildren existing within us right now. That's a scientific fact. Yeah. Right? And so when you understand that you are connected that deep to your lineage.
That is the power I'm talking
everything
about.
I feel, think, experience, my generation is being patterned by that.
That's right.
Right?
And encoded.
That's
So
right.
we talk about that generational curse and things. So if it is, I understand now that I am here, the will my mother had as a child, and then becoming an adult, and then going through her life, the will that she had, and birthed me into this space, and I come out here. She may have willed that, desired that deeply, but she never interact with it.
So then you turn out.
And then I turn out now.
Yeah, you come.
So me and my mother never cared for most of my life. It's only as an adult. And that's why most people know when you hold on to certain vengeance and you hold on to certain things, to answer your question, you see that listening, that commenter said it there, women and the tongue is the power.
Yeah. Because all they have the power of creation in your mouth.
Correct. And not just creation in being, but creation in how a child thinks and operates and putting a message in is both male and female, yes. But what a woman say and what a father teaches is two different things. One is the core and one is the physical. So you need the two to function together. Right?
Yeah, that's why it's be hard for you to cut all your chair and ass. I being straight. Because all you carry them. When I say cut their ass, I mean discipline them heavy. Right?
Well,
because it
mommy, I love you.
She didn't afraid.
She didn't afraid. My mother didn't afraid neither. Because there was an absence that she had no choice but to fulfill it.
Yeah.
Right? And now in my space, in my house, I am the disciplinarian.
Right.
I is the first responder. I tell all my children teachers that don't waste time calling my wife. Call me. I'll be there. You understand?
Don't you know?
You understand?
But
And
I can
she
get
know
to
that.
why women now, because of that rule, because men did not step up, and because men were not, when they were boys, were not raised by women. I tell you, I agree with Octave. People want to rap them, but I agree with Octave.
Yeah.
Your mother, boy, what your mother do and tell you when you was a infant boy, because remember you connected from long before, right? what your mother tell you and think that shape inside of you on levels. So when you grow up to be a big man, and I watching my brethren and them big men, some of my female friends on the trend, and I watching, I seeing how the children interact with them. All them things make me say, nah, but I don't want that to know. I don't want that to know. I see the kind of relationships these fellas have with girls, with the brethren, with whoever, and then turn around and see how the relationship they have with the mother. There's love. Don't get me wrong. Nobody can do nothing to them. But outside of that, you even see her as a human
being. Yeah,
no, it's just an entity that upon a shelf that convenient when you ready for it.
Upon a shelf.
Your mother. And then you turn on and you see it, you see that child mother talk, or if ever all they hear drill end up a child mother, everybody come find me, because I'm going to need therapy. I'm going mad. Nobody is not to claim me as no child mother, though, because there's a disconnect.
Last week we talking
there's a disconnect. I am not just here convenient to you. You want a legacy, and you just need somebody to bring a legacy on this world. If that the kind of man or they interact in it, then you look for your troubles.
Yeah. But some of them just turn up and never call for them, you know. Big up you, sir. You know
that and because women are exhausted, holistically exhausted.
Happy I'm tired.
Then you're looking at the breakdown of the men.
Yeah.
I too tired to have to deal. I just deal with you. I had to deal with you, and I had no time to deal with self and I can't reveal names on them. I ended up in an interview a few days ago with a deceased icon in the culture space and learned that the wife, we talking of never being loved and a level of depression that the icon lived with the entire life. Now to the rest of us and to the world, and
great
sweetheart, great, whatever. But the magnitude of that greatness and that lovingness was exactly the same depth for the cause. The absence of it. And there was one person who was in the back there dealing with that, which was the wife.
Yeah.
That burden, and we're talking about just me as a being, have to deal with my partner like that. And then let me say it had children involved maybe, and you had to be a friend, and you had to keep up the house, and you had to deal with all these things. And then you want to turn around later with protest in tongue in all the orange shirt talking about raise our boys better. Protect our women.
If you don't move from here.
What? I already have any conversation or you're
pandering? Pretending to have the conversation.
Right, so this is what we come back to again.
Yes.
And one of the things I see, I have a few friends, that grew up with our father in the house. And a discussion we had 2 nights ago.
Yeah.
After coming from the basketball tournament that his son was in. It's like, you imagine you're a man, but your wording is man and shit. Mothers is everything. Right? No, I tell him I couldn't agree with that. He say fathers is shit now. Say, but
no, say your father.
Right, exactly.
Be specific.
But I also
specific.
want to show him how I see you as a great father because you're doing
in the present
everything exactly right now that you didn't get.
Yeah, but we don't speak life into boys. So when they become men, that is what they say because that is the only language that they know to validate themselves.
And that is what I want to.
And then he probably hear that
on here.
Yeah,
Mommy probably say the same thing.
Yeah, enough for the opposite of that.
How
somebody
do we
speaking life into a brethren of mine in a new relationship here now. Well, a situationship, we're still going through it. We're still in the entrance phase. And he's in complete shock because this girl every morning starting off he did for him with affirmations. And then he know big to big you is this, that, and the other. And you come back and he said, dog. You see that he even tell me, he said, Forbes, you can start our OnlyFans doing that. I said, okay, you are that kind of way about it. Your OnlyFans could be that. Just you speaking affirmation to men. That's what this space reached to, right? I could understand you not have a father growing up, dog. But in the space, in the village, not just about the household. It should not be that in the community.
Right, but here we're going to tell you now. Part of we culture in Trinidad is if I watch my brethren and ball, I real proud of what it is doing. Please get quiet.
Yeah.
Because it's not me and he alone might be 5, 6 are we like, man?
Yeah.
We don't have a culture in Trinidad where I went to people who know me know the humble beginnings I come from. right? I went to New York and do a fashion show. And the day election morning in 2020, I on my business. Everybody rushing to vote. I on my business, going to do something. And saw a man that knew me from those times. And his words was, I hear you when, I will hear it in my voice. I'm trying to repeat it. I hear you when New York and do fashion show and thing, boy. Whoa, they get big, boy.
Oh, yeah, they like
Right?
it. Yeah, like.
But I heard the psychology in what he say. He know where I come from. He expected
You to stay to
to
hell
stay
there.
right there.
stay
now.
there.
Right? And that time that back into us not being able to express to one another.
Yeah.
But like we just do, boy, I never see a barber shop run so efficient, boy.
Yeah.
Like that real inspiration. We not really on that now, so now come back now to the father.
Yeah.
The young father now. Like, how do we reach there? Like, yo,
Okay.
you going-
But that is something that we've been bred into.
Right.
Because if I praise you and you're doing well, and somebody hears that you're doing well, they're gonna send you to another plantation because you're doing well. So so we won't compliment our children. We won't praise them. We won't big up our brethren. We
break
won't
that shit,
support
boy.
each other.
So the
You
feminine energy
understand?
that's missing there is kindness.
Yeah.
We're not used to having or experiencing or receiving
People, let's be surprised when I
kindness.
tell them Happy Monday
Yeah.
and
Let's hear
thank
it.
you.
Yeah.
And you're calling a business place. And that is my modus operandi. And I call you on the phone, I speak and say, hi, happy Monday.
Yeah.
People like, oh, happy Monday to you too.
Yeah, see the pause.
Yeah.
Yeah, see the
They don't know how
delay.
to respond.
But the
And-
apartment I called this morning, the same thing.
Yeah.
I say, hello, good morning. The woman's like, yeah, hi. So I was like, well, you know you're my custom here. Good morning.
Yeah, but
I was
remember
telling
we
a
are-
lady in a taxi the other day, I was like, gratitude and that kind of affirmation is lacking. Because I come in the taxi, I say good afternoon to everybody. I said,
Crickets.
given the no, everybody say good afternoon. I give the driver the money. Here you go, drive. Thank you, and I get back my change. And then when I reach where I'm going safely,
Thank
I'm
you.
saying thank you because he didn't bong to drop me.
My daughter
Yeah.
does have maxis in silence. As at 6 years old, we walk in, good day, kite. And she don't try, she's still learning, but I mean, because good day as a general greeting. So we say good day and quiet. You know, the innocence is there's jam, you know.
Yes.
Daddy, I don't have nobody in answer, didn't you, man?
She a Jammet woman, and I like that.
I like she.
And then there, what's been the discomfort?
And you know-
Good day,
Hello.
hi, good morning. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why there's women and then there's Jammet women.
Yeah.
Which is why we choose this way, because we loud with it.
Yeah.
If we had a host something, if anybody ever see me host something, I walk on and I say, good evening, so and so. Good evening, oh, you are radio. You talk about the how we start.
Yeah.
It's a greeting. I
Yes.
want you to feel that. Because I also understand we're in a space where, hey, how you going? But you ain't stop yet. Why did you ask him how I going if you're not, you don't care.
Yeah.
That's
You're on
rehearsing. I
autopilot.
need you to be conscious. I need you to be here in
In the
space
moment.
with me.
Yes.
We come out for a reason. We come out for, good day, good evening, so and so. All right. No.
Start over.
Start over.
Because
Do
I'm
it
gonna be
over.
home in my bed. You're not
Yeah.
going to make this experience bad
Boring.
for me.
Yeah.
And even like other things like what Taika and I just do all the time. You see that same like giving in the kindness, giving in the gratitude, watch people in the eye and tell them, I see you. I see in what you're doing though.
Yeah.
And say it in big. Say it in public.
Yeah.
Say it in people feel like real forward and say, because no, social media is about that.
Yeah.
So in those spaces, of course I'm going to be loud. I understand my role in that space. So even if somebody comment whatever under me, notice the way my language and back to them would be, especially if it's somebody that I know doing something and you never know somebody scroll past. Give people the flowers. Let people feel that.
We always talking that here. We real shy away from that, and I said Trinidad because this is where I spend all of my life.
Yeah.
And as in our culture here, like it real hard, and I use it for me, and I talking or you were talking different, because in the entertainment field, Matix were talking different. I mentioned this to him too. Like I don't even see that flowers given as in torch passing ceremony in soca, calypso, nothing is always a kind of snatch.
Yeah.
Right?
Because we have that crab in our barrel mentality that
Yeah.
it don't have room, and we experience this firsthand. Why would I mentor you, encourage you, big you up when I want to stay in this space and
I have a
dead
problem
here?
with that. I have a real problem
Same
with
here.
that.
And it exists in such a toxic way, especially with women.
Yes.
Especially with women. A real woman in media who will never give Joel a forward. I will me was it because I'm not of this. Right? So would never get her
So
forward
we are,
because
boy.
Ask them now. Right? They will never get you forward because they want to stay in that position forever and ever and
Dinosaurs.
ever. They
All
will
I want to
never
show them
pass
is,
it on.
right? The generation we come from was outdoor concerts, a lot of outdoor concerts. Like, I remember at that time you could see
Backyard.
Beanie Man twice for the year. And I've always used that example.
3 times.
Yeah, he love
Beanie
it.
Man and Sizzler
Yeah, always it.
come Trinidad. And you will always hear them with an artist you never hear before. So now it's up to the artist, make a good impression, your song good thing, and then we hear about them after. Turbulence is one of them. I remember Sizzler bringing Turbulence before we know anything about Turbulence on the radio.
Yeah.
Movado and Cartel. Bounty do that with them.
Yeah.
Beanie Man had the whole Shocking Vibes team.
Yeah.
We know nothing about them outside of that, but we know when they come Trinidad, them know them getting
I'd
forward.
say this, it is happening in the space though, where you have people who are more experienced in the industry who are helping younger ones come up and whatever. It's just one not as loud, and the responsibility then falls on the people who received.
Right.
The audience.
Right.
Because you all the interview Matix on their first show, and you ask Matix. No, you are non-intro Matix in this big way. And I've always observed with Matty, and I went on Facebook and I talked that talk.
Yeah, I see it.
Because as I watch him do it, I'd see this red man again, you know, he going again, you know. Every time you get Matty, he forward, he just interrupt what you're saying, or wait till you finish say it, and then say, big up to
somebody else, yeah.
When long time history, African history, I am Gerald Forbes, daughter of Judy and Gerald Forbes. Know where you come from to know where you're going. In the entertainment industry as it stands right now, I am Gerald Forbes, protege of Sprangalang, Naima Thompson, Giselle Langton, Penelope Spencer, and we could list all the way down. Me standing up here on my own.
Yeah.
Sure.
Which is also why I was quick to pull out my blade for people who want to disrespect the ancestors and the culture. Because none of what we have right now is you bring that.
Yeah. Correct.
You come and meet that here.
Yeah.
Yep.
So how you just so long and disrespect it?
Yeah.
And if you're doing that, because it come like, I just say, the hand laughing because the foot rotting as if it's not part of the same body. Eventually, all of we go collapse and looking at them, you're talking self-sabotage.
Yeah.
And in several ways, whether it's in your household, whether it's in your workplace, whether it's in the community, or just within the relationship between you and your partner, you had to answer the question, because we still never answer the question. You had to hear. You had to silence yourself on a level so that your consciousness could hold you accountable more than you could see and absorb and see everybody else. Accountability is a level of consciousness that your ears just had to... And then you process, because plenty of people here and are not listening.
Talk it.
But you can learn it, and then you can learn the theory, because everybody going to school now, eh?
Yeah.
And learning feminism in school, and learning community in school, and learning all kind of assets in school, and then want to fight me on the internet as though what I live in is two different things. You can't fight my experiences. Come down from there.
Yeah.
What you learn in our classroom and what is two different things. I am talking about the space.
Yeah.
How are you helping the space?
Look, Sheldon saying something here, which is what I've been thinking. I just didn't say it. I am not threatened by any other artist, so I help any artist who comes to me. As a barber, I tell you something about that space. It's real imps in that space. Right? Fellas who me and care how they feel. Right? But I don't want no part of it. Or they could click up and do all they want and feel all they say best and whatever. That's fine. I don't know part of that. What I know is when them youth men and them come to me,
They come to me.
they come to me and they ask me something, I give in them.
Yeah.
Because that power, there is power in it, where we transference of knowledge and transference of information. When that person get big and they turn back and they say, boy, if it wasn't for Karen, no, I'm not saying it because of our ego thing. But that is your flowers.
That's the
And that's why
point.
you're not getting no flowers, because you feel by me watering you, you
It's
will
well
not cut my root.
lessened down.
As well as, again, we don't understand legacy. What do you think legacy is? Not just make a child and I have about 8 children out there. No, that is what your great grandfather and them used to do.
Correct.
There's more to just making children.
Correct.
Nick
And that
Cannon,
was the
that's
same.
for you. There's more to just making children, Nick Cannon. Get it together.
Correct.
My own turnaround from the opposite now. When I just started to get the idea to do my own printing, because I started off on a real terrible. I could have been saying no when I sell now. I'm going to try to rob me of my hard work. After I gave him the thing and them to print and pay me money in advance. But we ain't go there. I remember waiting at this man printing since I small boy, one of my father partners. So I go on by him. Thinking, well, you know me since I was a baby. You give me some, you know.
You be willing to share.
The exact 180 opposite, you know. The last line he went like, and I just walk out like, you trying to take over my business, oh? All because I asked him, you're doing printing. Where's get your stuff? Have anything locally abroad? What machine?
And they gatekeep, and then you're dead with all that knowledge.
I remember.
Yeah.
We had a bus that tune had to come forth quick.
And then I watch the opposite now. So they are rolling sugar on us. And I see a man of a store. And I want to say this so clear because the first person who didn't want to give me information was a man like me. I'm going to do a delivery in sugar on us and passing through a mall and see a store. And that's the idea I had. And I like, if you see this big space, you have a corner, he doing the printing right there, but you have a real thing print out something right there. They will catch me as the space. You know, choke up on nothing. So I go in and I talk to him and I ask him questions and we on the radio. So if I ask you certain things, you might know, you know what, you realize I know what I call the brand road and things, some of me have a little. And he realized that he stopped what he doing and come up and started to talk to me. Give me information, write down thing. Of under that, and I say, I must not be
like that.
Like that elder. I must be like this
That's
man.
not that elder. Stop
Well,
saying
he's a older.
I tell them that we have too much elders and not enough elders.
He's a older.
Saying, I must not be like that.
And there was a transference of knowledge, and therefore you are now empowered. And that's what we need in the community. We need to have people who will empower young people, will give them the information, will rest it down and say, whenever you're ready, it's here.
Yeah.
But we have to give it. We have to share it. We come and we meet things here because somebody leave it.
Yes.
You use that word community again and see how everything is tied back because the last thing was on community, right? And for me, that's a big part of it, boy. Like seeing, when we was in that basketball Sunday, seeing all them families, mothers, fathers, big brothers, uncles, everybody supporting the children. And everything was about the children.
Yeah.
For me, that's a real big part of it too. I said, the information here. So this is what I'm doing now. Look, Are you ready? Oh, come down, I'm explaining to you. You mightn't understand my handwriting, or you mightn't understand my terminology. I still here, I can tell you, you know.
And you leave as I was saying, the door might not always be open, but knock, somebody bound to answer.
That's right.
What the CEO of Davison watches say now. Please, I know how much please is that. Have a part 2 of this collaboration. The energy and the vibes is diamonds will drop today, jewels will drop today.
Yeah.
You know I don't disagree.
Nah. The day. When we ready for them, the day.
Yeah.
The day.
Right.
But we also have our show. Can
Yes.
The two Jammettes right here on the same forum.
Yeah.
It feels good to have a male equivalent, I think, of what we're doing on our show in the same space. Matthias is a smart boy, again, he understand balance.
Yeah, balance.
Woman cannot exist without man cannot exist without woman. In order for I wonder if it's a hobby he do the boy. That's it. In order for this company, his station to grow and flourish, you need to have
this
the
balance.
two energies.
But I look at it from our next standpoint too, is a real kind of open-minded kind of bravery too, because it's not much people
willing.
Yeah.
Not even taking the risk to do it.
Yeah.
And hey, you see us start something. You gotta start.
Just start it. You might be able to finish it, all kind of thing, but just
look how much
start it.
people on the chat.
Engaging.
Look how much people on the chat. And it's because people want this conversation, it's not that they don't want it.
Because we all living in this space. We know what we're missing. We know what absent from our core. We know.
And we want to be better.
So
we want to be
some
better.
Sheldon Mendoza. I must say, I follow Joel Forbes on social media. Yeah. After the first time I saw her on video, I think it was on Talk City Radio, because I saw something in her that is so evident right now.
Where's
What
is that, boy? The Jammettes? Sheldon, come now. Do their parables thing, brother.
Yeah.
Talk English now.
Nah. And even in that, along the way, for me in my career, not just in media but in music and the whole entertainment industry, whatever stage you're at now is enough. You know where your story is, you know where your struggle is, you know where you're going through, but what you do and what you say and thing is enough to have a kind of effect on people, boy. This time you going through it. This time you're in the worst chapter of your life.
Boy.
But whatever little you do, sometimes just in past, oh God, sorry, and you go. Just that alone, you know.
I always tell Anita, because he was going with he feel, because he might be going through it, that you ain't still looking at as a elder who you could lean on for information.
Yeah, that had nothing to do with nothing, but the worst of you is still good enough.
That's
I
right.
can guarantee you that.
Right?
Yeah, I must admit I struggle with that because part of the mindset that, we're trying to break and everything is where you see people as now.
Right.
How you see people and where you think you could learn from somebody simply based on where you see them as.
Yeah.
Yeah, but them thing is illusions.
Of course, we know this now.
Big
But remember, I just going through. I just talking about what we been taught now.
Yeah.
Now I understand. I also say one of the greatest teachings I get in my life was some two old men on a tire shop on 3rd Avenue in Batter.
That sounds like a nice story. Yeah. 2 old men in a tire shop in Batter.
I'm calling it. They call him about the method to change that tire. Man, I want to say, boy, it's 20 years I have experience. I doing this thing, boy. The next one tell him very calmly. And that was Master Lee. He said, no, you don't have 20 years experience. You have 1 year experience 20 times. Wow. Wow. I was there to hear that.
One experience.
1 year experience.
20 times.
Not 20 years experience.
Because you've been doing the same thing for
shit.
20
Over and
years.
over.
You're doing shit 20 years now.
Plenty people doing that thing. I had to keep that one. That one bad. That's a bar. All right.
I hear that.
Yeah, one experience, 20 years. 20 years.
So again, all of that is part of what I would like to do with my own life now. Like not make them same mistakes.
Yeah.
Not keep doing the same thing and then you're wondering, oh, nothing, nothing changing.
I don't want to end off though, because I'm not watching time here now. I don't want to end off though with the idea that we're still in quarrel mode. The space exists, the people exist, the community exists, and when I say the space for healing exists, the space for learning exists, for both men and women. If you're feeling like you're not getting that, then change where you is. Yeah. Change your environment, change the things that you are absorbing. If you absorb eat like fast food and thing all the time, your body going to react. So what it is you're feeding your body, who you are wrong. It are people who in your space for years that you genuinely love. Yeah. But are they right for you? Yeah. Are they right for your journey and for your healing and whatever? And learn to listen, dog. Or you must learn to have platonic friendships with females. That is very important. And fellas, it are real fellas who don't believe in that, in having friendship. They don't believe that you can have friendship with women. They don't believe in that at all. That is a thing.
I wish them all the best.
But you have to, or else you're going to be fighting a while. And again, you're going to get to the point where you end up with a girl child or become a father figure to a girl child. Because again, we're not only seeing fathers and mothers in the space as the person who give you life. Yeah. The space need more maternal and paternal energies in this space, right? And so in order for you to learn that, who you're going to learn that from? Man? Or they don't like when woman learn about man from woman. Why would you go and learn about woman from man? Get it together.
Yeah.
Balance.
You look shaky.
Hey, you understand?
Right, but as a youth in the industry, I give all the props. You know what I mean? When I first talked to Gerald and thing, I said, Gerald, we can make a bounce from so no. Yeah. She said, well, come so. easy so.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah, the space, and I mean, always juggernauts in the space, whether people might tell or not, always juggernauts in the space.
Is the word using there, man?
Maybe I don't understand that. Once say giants,
or they're full in the space. No, you're full in the space. You can feel it. You shall dance it just now.
Talking about flowers, take all your flowers.
Now we take my flowers.
Planted like green top.
I take my flowers.
Cotton tree.
Correct.
Even again saying, we don't know what we do. We figuring it out as we go. Same with Matix. This is the first time we man running our station. We have experience in radio in another way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Correct.
And so even in this phase of it, You understand what I mean? We don't know what he has going on, but it is enough.
Correct.
It is enough.
It is enough.
And we older, but at the same time, that had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
Because all they had the experience.
Me don't believe in that nonsense.
Yeah. You know what I mean? So take all your flowers.
I
Take
learn
all your
from a
flowers.
6-year-old child right now. So me believe in that
Yeah,
nonsense.
children are the
at all.
greatest teachers, you know,
Yeah,
you learn a
boy.
lot about yourself when you're around children.
Yeah.
That's right.
For people who missed it, we coming back, you know.
Yeah.
September the
Days away.
4th. September the 4th. And we'll be here.
Yes.
But things on the horizon, so you
4
can
PM.
follow us on Instagram, Jammette868, Jammette with 2 M's, JAMMETTE868.
Yes.
If you type something else, it'll be another person.
Make sure you type it right.
Yeah, and of course, you can follow us individually. Once you find one, you find everything.
Yeah.
So for Sheldon, who's following Jarrell, you can make your way through.
More.
You
Yeah.
know, and see all the things because it had things.
Yeah, we
It had
actually
things.
plan to because I don't expect Taika or myself to stay here. And when I say stay here, the work will have to travel. And so we intend to include within the next few months, you're going to see more of the Jammettes because it can't be the tour we leading this thing. No. We just want to start the thing and get the culture of it up
Going.
and going.
Right.
And so, and allow
So
women.
let's jump at godmothers.
That's
Yes,
actually that's the only.
that's
I have a lot of
exactly what it is.
aliases, and that's the only alias that I'm willing to accept. The godmother of the space. That's the only alias I'm willing. People are saying, "You're a historian and an activist," and I don't know about none of that.
She's a godmother, as in Nennen.
Yeah, which means then you have to create the space for more to come in. So we are introducing
New characters, new
people
new faces.
to the brand. And voicing the same way because we also understand that there are a lot of women in this space who are now learning how to use this voice, this version of power, feminine power for the first time.
Right.
And that's going to be a journey. That's going to be
So
a
the master
process.
of this before we're gonna is it that people can reach out to all their like organizations and ask all to come and speak to young ladies and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That is the Jammette brand. The Jammette woman, the reason why we went with Jammette is, people know Jammette as a prostitute, right? Okay, cool. But if you go beyond that, unless you could find a prostitute who wake up one morning and decide, I want to be a prostitute. I just want all kind of thing in my whole, I want all the dangers. No. Circumstance,
That's not how it works.
So then, show me, really see the person and not the acts. And of course, this narrative over the years was spread by men as well too, which we just discussed throughout this whole program. So why the power
Struggle.
right?
Ego.
The Jammette woman role in this space was very much for the community.
Yes.
She saw everybody. She was in everybody's business, or everybody was coming to her, and whatever. We don't have that no more. Just literally in the setup of homes now. When I cross my gate, I cross my gate. There's no community
Well,
feeling.
we talked that last week, and that's why I think in the badmanism, long time, the baddest badman. If Diana say, "Hey," you had a pat down.
That was Snoop. After that, was Snoop say,
Correct.
Can you need
Some
them
aunties.
big brims?
Yeah,
Those
them big brim. Yeah.
I say nephew.
Yeah.
Get it together.
Come down from there.
Yeah.
That we're doing. The space don't have that.
Yeah.
And everybody know. Could I think of one woman who
On the
was
street.
that?
Yeah.
She was big. She was loud. She was this. She was that. Nobody ain't come wrong. She just so. And even if something that happened to she, well, everybody, whole city gonna burn down about it.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
Where's that woman in the space?
Yeah.
Where's that? And that doesn't mean she don't know what it means to be gentle, submissive.
Yeah. She'll take care of you. She'll slap your head, slap your knee, but
If
she'll
you-
also cuss you and put you in your place.
If you're lucky enough
Yeah.
to get at it. If you're lucky
And
enough
also
to
too,
get at
like, for the people who can't speak for themselves, like that is what the Jammette is there for.
Yeah.
You have certain people who are unable to say certain things because they're in a certain position or
Yes,
they,
of an ilk.
Yes,
Of an ilk.
but also too, they might not be able to say something because it will jeopardize their current existence or situation.
Right.
So give me the thing, we go say it
You
on
have
your
something to
behalf.
say? Your good message. We gonna
Bring
say it for
We
you.
go say it for you. It's no problem.
All right, folks. So that is it, Thanks to the Jammettes are coming.
Hit.
Thanks for having
I
us.
believe in cross pollination. You
Yeah,
understand?
I must say.
Because no two could function as you say on their own. And again, we have a following, we have a space that we want to bring to the network and thing and vice versa.
Yes.
You know, so we hope that some of our listeners tune in today and they kind of understand what we're about, and then vice versa, you know, so that we could tune into all your show. And
well, I'm sure some of these people listening here go be on for the two Jammettes.
Yeah, we see that already.
Oh my God.
I'm not confessing crushing this now, you know.
In the comments.
Yes.
Yeah,
you're missing out on things. I mean, unfortunately, Murphy's still jackassing because the things stick.
That's all right, but they're hearing us. They're hearing us.
I ain't trying to close
Kyle
it.
Grant there, Valdez, big up you, Lee.
Listen.
Kilo, Shellan is saying, and Jason. Big up all the people who.
What glasses Shellan had it to see all of that? Who sponsor him?
But it's been fun. It's been enjoyable.
Yeah, Ian buy lens in Trinidad. Buy that for it.
Hey, big up DJ Kello.
Yeah, Kello, we see you. Have respect, my brother.
And we see you later.
Tonight is Kello, right?
Yeah, tonight is Kello. So, have a tune to drop here. Let me go with it. All the peace and love.
Blessings.
Live in love, as Andres always say. Be safe. Right? We out.
Real woman don't mean that your hair do. Pretty nails and shoes don't mean you have to trim man where you spend pan you. Woman you confused, real woman have them bang look. And we don't make excuse. If all you have is sexy alone, you're bound to lose. So let me tell you about real woman. Don't do anything for a like on the gram. Let me tell you about real woman. Own house, own car, own land. Let me tell you about real woman. Boss up now, take charge of your man. Let me tell you about real woman. Tell them this your song. With your hand in the air, the air, the air, the air. Walk out, shout out, yeah, 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 yeah. If you know what, you're hand in the air, the air, the air, the air. Walk out, shout out, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh Lord, keep doing the most. Is my money spent? Can't spend it to post. Keep doing the most. Is my money spent? I can't spend it to post. Yeah, me now, real woman buy me own fat ticket. I make it long time. 6 them can't take my wicket. Tell them take them time with it. So when I cock up my bumper, that's mine. Buy out the basso, that's fine. Take a little wine pan, what's mine? Hey girl, don't cross this line. So let me tell you about real woman. Don't do anything for a like on the gram. Let me tell you about real woman. Own house, own car, own land. Let me tell you about real woman. Boss up now, take charge of your man. Let me tell you about real woman. Tell them this your song. Put your hand in the air, the air, the air, the air. Walk out, shout out, yeah, 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 yeah. If you know what, you're hand in the air, the air, the air, the air. Walk out, shout out, yeah, 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 yeah. Oh Lord, keep doing the most. Is my money spent? Can't spend it to post. Keep doing the most. Is my money spent? I can't spend it to post. Yeah, me know.
Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. It's in the span of my hips, it's in the stride of my steps, and it's in the curl of my lips, 'cause I'm a phenomenal woman.
I am Dassel, owner of Dassel's House of Hair.
Entourage Lord, Caricom Youth